Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Jokakaka. I'm Jim.
I'm Sam.
And we have a very special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself, special guest?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just like we rehearsed. I'm Purmello, otherwise known as Holly. I do fucking Jojo animations. I did that one soft and wet thing that everyone's seen.
They're really freaking good. I watched that like a lot. It's so cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I remember Jim sending it to me. He sends me like all these animations. So,
Yeah.
All right. So if you couldn't know by the title of the video, we are kind of just going over part 8 again.
Yeah, we just wanted to kind of talk about, like, we're in like first off, we're in a hiatus month. So we've got like all this pent up JoJo energy just like raging to go.
Sure.
And also there's like, we're kind of at a very pivotal moment where there's...
We're balls deep in part 8.
Yeah.
As
Like we're in like the sort of end throes of the part. And it's really just, there's so much that could happen even though we're so close to the end.
Yeah.
And a lot of the early stuff is a bit hated for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
For small brain people like myself.
The small brain JoJo bronies out there.
Yeah, it really feels like every time a new chapter comes out, like every single fan theory gets completely like obsolete.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And there is stuff that is forgotten, or characters I've forgotten so far.
Mm-hmm.
that I do love some of those, which I do get into.
Yeah.
I think a good thing to start off with is just like, I feel like there's this constant criticism of Araki's like writing that I see where people are like, oh my god, is X character gonna show up again? Oh my god, is blah blah blah. There's so many characters that have like reached a sort of narrative like finality where it's like we don't really need to see this character again. And
after Ojiro, everybody kind of has that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Where now the floodgates are open for like fucking Kyo Nijimura or Dolomite coming back, and it's like I think their narrative purpose has pretty much been fulfilled.
Yeah,
it's more so people are like, where's Kyo? Where's Carrera?
Yeah, because Kyo has like this really weird, like she has like something weird within the plot where she's like distinctively or like noticeably vanished from a picture. Like there's that very famous
existence
picture that has like the entire Higashikata family,
it's
and
like
she was in it. But yeah, just like in Back to the Future, she's slowly vanished.
Yeah, it also almost feels like her stand ability was like made to be used later for a very specific, because it's so specific of like a thing opening and then causing like a blizzard in a small area. Like it sounds like something that you write so you can use it later.
Yeah, for
but
real.
It just never comes up again. So I can see why people speculate on that.
Yeah, I think she's a natural one. And Carrera is one that I feel like, I think she kind of had her purpose where it was like, show up and then like, we get all of this backstory with Kira and just Fume. So it's like,
I still want that prison meetup that happened. With
where your idea that her and Rai will meet in prison. Very cool.
Yes.
I do love that idea.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I feel like Rai has to go somewhere now that he's in jail.
He's the only one not doing anything.
Yeah. That has to go somewhere. He can't just come back and be like, hey, prison was cool. Anyway, like, I don't know. I feel like some sort of side plot has to happen there.
Yeah, that's, if, like, for me, the ideal return from break would be, like, pause the Asaho story. Like, you know, I feel like Araki does this a lot, where he'll, like, put a, like, really insane, like, cliffhanger, and then we'll just put a pause on it, and we'll jump to, like, another thing.
Well, like, her and Toru have, like, these, like, lovesick to, like, others who are main characters, and just team up or something, or fight each other for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or we get a Rai side plot.
Yeah. That's another weird thing that I wrote down, is that Toru is, like, very suspiciously absent right now.
Yeah.
Like he had a huge plot arc where it's like, it's her ex-boyfriend, and he's like...
He drove her there, should have drove her there.
And then he drove her there, and then he's gone, like, vanishes. Like, he's not shown once. And I don't know, that feels very intentional to me. I feel like, I don't know.
I was convinced that this... Because, like, we're currently on chapter 94, correct?
Yeah.
I can't do numbers.
Yeah.
So at the end of 93, there was, like, that whole scene where Yasuho started to, like, cough up the water because she'd been dunked in the toilet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, she was driven there by Toru, so we're going to get some awesome Toru action. And Not yet. Well, I mean, I guess there is the theory that the head doctor is Toru, which a lot of people seem to be throwing around, which I don't quite buy.
I mean,
personally.
there are reasons. Like his visual design kind of has similar motifs to what we assume is the head doctor's stand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to go so far as to say that like they are the same person, but I think there has to be some deeper connection between the two in some meaningful way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They just have too many similar design motifs, and like they showed up at the same time, and it's just too convenient, I think.
The fact that he also was like, oh yeah, I took a picture of the head doctor. It's like,
yeah.
Like the first character that we see showing evidence of him is kind of a huge deal.
Yeah.
Also, we can't forget about his insane, weird monologue about the wireless charging. Like, that has to come back, right?
So,
right, guys? That's gonna come back?
I don't. No, I genuinely don't think so. I genuinely think that was just a weird throwaway dialogue. I don't think that's gonna mean anything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, there's a lot of, like, I like reading the early part of Part 8, it was just, like, there's a lot of, like, geography or, like, just talking about the town. I really, really like that. It's something that came up recently, I guess, more so, with the Wall's Eyes coming back, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That,
something
like,
I think
really
is
interesting.
Yeah, one thing I'm always interested in. I've revisited the first few chapters of Part 8 like a few times because like when Ojiro came back, I was like, oh, I need to fucking read this again.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with it begins with a narration by Yasuo talking about how this is a story about breaking a curse.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting that it starts like that, and sort of frames the whole story around the like Higashikata curse.
Mm-hmm.
But also early on, there was a lot of talk about like natural disasters just constantly happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
it's definitely a response to like actual events.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like, especially the big thing here that I think still has gone unanswered, but it's a bit nebulous to be speculated on. But like how we have all of these weird elements that are strangely similar. Like, we have rock humans, we have the rock disease, we have the Rokakaka /
rock
Lokakaka.
animals.
Yeah, we have rock animals, and we have all this shit. And they don't have a common ancestor at all. And I feel like that's really weird. I feel like there has to be some sort of, like, central thing that ties these together, or, like, origin point from which they all sort of started. Because if this is just these, like, if rock humans and the Rokakaka, which turns you into rocks to heal you, and the rock disease, if these three things are completely unrelated, I think that just seems impossible to me. Like,
yeah,
what's it called? I was reading a Level of Deluxe chapter. There was just 2 pages about just like the physiology and like the history of rock humans out of nowhere. It's not like something you get in like the chapter, which is like one of those pre-chapter descriptions. Is weird.
Yeah. In fairness, it does come up a little bit with Aisho Dainenjiyama, which with the Dubiwa guy, basically. Yeah, where he's like, that's kind of his backstory, is that
I felt bad for him.
Oh god, I felt bad for him too. Yeah, he's one of my
the
favorite.
only one is real super development.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people feel like the rock humans are kind of not intimidating because
the twins are like the biggest jobbers like I've ever seen in my life.
They're, I think, maybe JoJo's biggest jobbers of all time.
Yeah.
They lost primarily to CQC and with a little bit of Salt and Wet.
Watching them just get decked in the jaw is maybe like one of my favorite JoJo moments.
I mean, this is the evident chapter of like Gappy being the best fist fighter of like all the JoJo's most likely.
Yeah, it's weird
when he just destroys oh my god, what's his name? Who's got the vitamin C?
Tamaki Damo, yeah.
Yeah,
Daima.
When he just destroys him with like one punch, it's just like,
oh,
holy shit.
That is like my favorite shit.
Each death of the rock human is like very brutal for the most part. The twins get off the easiest, I think, just like crumbling in fire.
Yeah, definitely. I think Yotsuyu definitely gets off the easiest. He just kind of drowns.
He's still like he's like
a
slow
so horrifying.
Yeah, it's like a slow drown.
Like,
I don't know. It seemed pretty fast. He like turned to rock. I don't know.
I love that. I think he's one of my favorite like rock human characters.
Yeah,
he's such an awesome design. Just like, it's one of those designs that just like checks every box for me.
Yeah.
And also the stand is like super cool.
Yeah, I hated I Am a Rock at first. Like, it looked like the dumbest thing ever.
My
But,
note saying this is a doofus-looking humanoid stand.
Yeah, they somehow just make it work, and I really like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my notes. Many of my notes saying blank is creepy in my notes. Like, I'm looking at Joshu is creepy for, like, my first page.
Yeah.
As part of the Joshu Defense Force,
What a shame. You put you on a
Same
list
here.
for that.
Yeah, no, Joshu's fucking, I like him.
Tsurugi is such as weird, too. Tsurugi has a weird licking fetish. Like, he wants to lick
Tsurugi's
Yasho,
great.
like, so many times.
Listen, he's just a weird kid.
He's 9 years
little
old.
boy.
He's 9 years
He's
old.
11, right? He's 11?
No, he was like 9, I think, in the introduction.
What's he?
I thought so. I don't know. I'm usually wrong 9 times out of 10, so it's fine.
That's not true.
So, just like, and it's the weird uses of stands, like, or like the bubbles kept coming out of his birthmark in like the early stuff.
Yeah.
And his birthmark disappeared at one point.
I feel like that's just like him getting more adept with them, and like I don't know if that's necessarily a retcon. It's just more like, oh, he was literally like born yesterday and he's still figuring this shit out.
It reminds me of JoJolion in a lot of ways, where like, it was like Stone Free was a very like slow like evolution. Like, I don't know, but it's the same way how it was like coming off her body as well.
Yeah.
I connected the most to that.
It was like several fights before it even like manifested as a physical stand. Like that's I like that.
Most of the weird stand stuff is basically with Paisley Park and that I wrote, which is like the weird stuff Paisley Park could do, like the power of suggestion and like
Yeah.
I still like think actually like physically interacting.
Yeah, the weirdest thing Paisley Park ever did was the like dog turd. Do you guys remember that?
I wrote that in my notes.
What?
I wrote that in my. Is it banana
I
peels or
forget
dog
this.
turds? I wrote that in my notes.
Banana peel or dog turd, yeah. Fucking. What the hell was
forgot
that?
about
It
this.
literally like.
Dude, what do you want him to step on?
Like that
Why
is
would you
like.
not pick dog turds in a park? Banana peels is way more like
Cartoony.
suspicious.
I'm fully there on Paisley Park with like the, you know, the opening doors and like making connections. All of that makes complete sense to me. The dog turd one, I just don't get it.
It's a choose your own adventure book or like a QTE event where you have to choose quickly, like until dawn or something.
But why can it do that?
Well, there's one part where it literally travels the gap beat and gives him the suggestion of going somewhere, and I'm just like, why is this a power that Paisley Park has?
I feel like the only explanation for it is just that like it's like a fate explanation where it's like she will always pick dog turd like every time.
That's the JoJo answer to everything. It's fate.
Yeah, right. Like, it's like the aliens from Arrival. They can't do anything they know they won't do. Like she can't pick banana peel because she knows she's gonna pick dog turd.
I don't know. Dog turd would have been a funnier answer.
Did she pick banana peel? I'm so angry.
Yeah, she picked banana peel for some reason. She's no fun.
What a normie.
She only goes Paragon.
People in the comments, sound off. Are you hashtag banana peel or hashtag dog turds?
Hashtag dog turd all the way.
I am team dog turd.
Yeah, I'm team dog turd too.
Oh, I wrote some weird notes from chapter 2. It's like Joshu is a sociology major.
Oh my god. Is he actually? Hold on, I could have missed that.
Chapter 2. He's a sociology major.
That's incredible. I really like that they're in college.
God,
I think that's a really cool like.
A lot of this
setting.
early stuff I love, like the family interacting that you don't get as much anymore.
That's kind of like the just inevitable like conclusion for a lot of like stories like this, where when everything starts to come to a head, you can't focus on like all these little side characters and really fun moments as much because you need like every big moment that's leading up to the climax.
Yeah.
I wrote the dumpling scene. Gappy hugs and gets a huge boner.
Oh, I forgot about Gappy's boner. I was like,
how could you forget?
I don't know.
I think that it's hitting me, goddammit, is one of the best fucking jokes Araki has ever penned. Like,
it's really good.
It is so good.
Weird shit.
It crosses all language barriers.
And then I just wrote. I remember reading it when I first starting part 8 with all the Kira stuff and getting like super excited, and then only for like the reveal that it was like a plant for the Home Alone sand fight.
Yeah, I think that's so weird. It's such a funny like subvert your expectations thing, where it's like, oh no, actually this is all just like weird setup.
Yeah, it feels like JoJolion does that a lot. Especially with just like the way that villains are treated, it almost feels like it directly goes against your expectation, kind of like fucking Tamaki getting taken out with one hook. Just fucking bam. Like, you expect like a big aura, but you just fucking murks him.
Which is super awesome.
And yeah, that's like Soft and West's first appearance, and there's just snakes, and there's thumbtacks, and it's just it's like a lot of work went into this.
I feel like I remember seeing a lot of people kind of like, obviously I wasn't there when it was airing or when it was coming out monthly, but people seem to kind of rag on the Ojiro fight and say like, oh, like fun, such a stupid stand. But I think it's like one of the most perfect examples of like a prep time fight in JoJo where like everything is against the one character because he's totally unaware that every element of the situation is like designed to destroy him in a way. Like even the part when he's like trying to get water out of the tub, so he unplugs the drain, but he's like sharpened all of the chains on the drain. It's just like, oh, I think that's just
it
so
really does
clever.
feel like, it really does feel like sort of like a back and forth cat and mouse sort of thing, where it's like, you know, oh, I'm running out here, oh, now he's running out here, now I'm gonna make the floor slick and make it snakes or whatever. I don't know, I forget.
Take away your friction.
Wasn't there a thing with snakes? Was there a snake?
Yeah, he dropped snakes from the second floor because someone had to, every person had to collect the animal or some creature.
What the fuck?
Also, that Soft and Wet has like a crazy diamond effect where he can't use it on himself, which is another thing.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
And then also the famous image of the mystery man.
This mysterious man and from Josuke's flashback.
Yeah, I have no clue what that pertains to. I have no idea. People have theorized that it was an early Kira design.
But he's next to Kira in the chapter.
I call bullshit on that. Like,
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah. Well,
and I've heard some people think it's like an early Demo design too.
Well, that too, but like,
he looked like a Steel Ball Run character.
He did.
He's extremely handsome.
I call bullshit on it because this is an Araki manga, and if it was Damo Tamaki, when he saw him, he would be like, that man, I've seen him somewhere before, and he would deliberate on it for 6 chapters. Like, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way that that's an established character that we have met, and it hasn't been made explicitly clear. Like, I don't know.
The thing that's the question about it is that like it's explicitly supposed to be like at the moment that, or like before they were buried together. So you have to think about like, okay, which characters were there? Like, we know that they had an encounter. I think they were with Carrera at the time. They had an encounter with Damo, but it's like, will we see this man? Is he just going to be another?
Oh fuck! Theory. Oh shit. Guys,
it's actually
are you having a brain blast?
Yes, I'm having a fucking brain blast. Do you remember the do you remember in Steel Ball Run when Blackmore gets the holy corpse, or Johnny does too? It doesn't really matter, and fucking Jesus appears behind him?
Yes.
That part is fucking awesome.
That part's great. And now, like, have you guys heard the theory that like Johnny's corpse became like another holy corpse and that it has the same effect?
I have heard this.
What if Johnny's corpse in Japan is what they use in the Higashikata ritual, and since that's what caused them to merge together, that's an old godly, like Jesus Christ-esque version of Johnny Joestar?
Whoa. Hold on, I need to look at this picture of this guy again.
I think maybe when they bury his body, he's the reason like the wall's eye, or they got like the stand area.
Right? Like, oh my god. Fuck, that's a brain blast moment.
We haven't got to the Johnny stuff, which we'll get to.
Oh my god.
I guess while Jim's like looking it up, but there's some weird Kira stuff. Like, he made sculptures of his own hands. He's a narcissist.
I like that. Yeah.
I'd say it's Ojiro had fun since he was a kid, which is interesting.
Yeah, so, like, what is the origin of stands then?
I don't know.
In this universe,
bite marks. We have to talk about the bite marks, guys.
But like, there isn't like isn't the family thing, because Daya gets it from like falling in the wall's eyes, and like Joshu gets it from going over there.
Well,
but when Ojiro was a kid, the wall eyes would not have existed. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's weird.
So we know that
organs.
Joshu has a bite mark.
Yes.
Josuke had the bite mark.
Yasuo had
the bite mark.
Yeah.
They said Daya fell and like had a fever when she got out in the wall's eyes, and then she got blind or legally blind.
And it's established that the bite mark does cause some form of illness. Like it does make you feel kind of under the weather for a few days, right? I think.
Guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that. Well, also I'm pretty sure that Josuke like beat up Joshu in the very beginning, but Joshu was also in the hospital. Like,
yeah, beat up a lot.
Yeah,
but
he can take it though.
Yeah, he took a toilet lid to the back of his head and had memory loss.
So I think this is a good time to talk about it as any. Josuke's plunder ability is something that's kind of been plundered from him. Like we see him using it like constantly early on. Like in like the first fight with Ojiro, he like removes friction, he removes sound, he removes the one thing he says he can't use it on himself because he's poisoned. But assumedly he could have used it on himself to get rid of the snake venom or snake toxin rather. But yeah, I feel like it has been a very long time since he's used it.
I mean, during Born This Way, he like fell on like a spike rail and like got a hole in his head. And he put a bubble in there just to seal up the wound.
Yeah, I feel like his power is kind of more shifted to just like nonsense with bubbles.
Yeah,
like, doing crazy shit with bubbles.
The Giorno effect.
I mean, I know that the plunder ability probably has some sort of relevance. Like in the climax of the plot, like there has to be some sort of use case for it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the interim, it feels like it's been kind of neglected a little bit. Yeah, it's strange.
At the same time, it's kind of like it's like the missing character thing, where it's like, maybe these are just like cases, all the fights that he's been in are cases where there hasn't been like a logical use for plunder.
Yeah.
And you could also, so something that I really thought about was, this is jumping really far ahead too, when they are first being attacked by the head doctor stand, and the one guy approaches Josuke and he gets his neck snapped. It kind of, the way that I interpreted the scene, it kind of felt like Josuke like removed the impact, because Yasuo gets hit by a car, and it feels like he uses bubbles to like remove the impact there, and then he pops a bubble and the guy breaks his neck. So in my like disgusting like brain that doesn't make any sense, to me it was like, okay, maybe he's like stole it from Yasuo and then it got shifted to this other person.
Yeah, well, we can't forget that the bubbles are actually a weird thread that's spinning really fast. What the fuck is that?
That weird plot thread.
That is literal plot threads. Yeah, that is something that I keep saying that I feel like we're pretty close to the end. I feel like we're in like the equivalent to the train from Steel Ball Run.
Yeah, but for real this time.
Yeah, but for real this time. And it's like, to me, that is one of the biggest mysteries, because it has to mean something, right? Like, it feels like it's just too important. That it's one of those things where like, Rai just had such a moment where he like notices it and like talks about it, and it's like, okay, this is important. I'm filing this away in my head.
Yeah.
That's called. I wrote down like they found Kira's body and he died of a heart attack. Mm-hmm. Because like we didn't see the flashback. He does have wounds, but I guess it heals him. Then it split up the stuff of him. It was weird.
I am not going to pretend like I can explain how
and I said weird early Jobin and Mitsuba look. I wrote in my notes. Oh, and then random kids getting a vagina look from the girl in the trash. I was like, these weird little marks of the girl from the Kira's house.
Yeah, the girl that runs away from Kira's house.
Oh. They get a flash of her because she's in the trash.
Yeah, that was a scene that I like totally forgot about, because I was like, wait, what happened to her? And
then, I wrote down a bunch of weird things that happened.
Oh my god, that list could go on forever in JoJolion.
Gappy has an ugly ass foot.
What?
There's a part where like they have like really long toes in chapter 7. I wrote. He had like really long toes. Do
you remember Josuke's giant knee?
No. I remember the feet more, because there's a part where they're all like took their shoes off and they all have like really long toes, and I thought it was gross.
I'm looking at the scene. They do have extremely long toes.
I was like, it was like have like hands on their feet. But then, like that one chick from Aeon Flux.
There you go. There's
Oh my
Josuke's
God.
giant fucking knee. Look at that thing.
Hilarious.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
Oh, great.
Minecraft.
Then you get like you meet like really weird and dangerous driver Norisuke. Then it had the weird, dangerous looking driveway where it's just like it's not practical. Like there's cracks. It goes up on layers. It's weird.
Norisuke is just a weird
Took
guy.
steps.
Yeah, he has a step driveway, and it's like not. It's not practical. So Kira was cremated. Dia loves prog rock and is a Yes fan. Because me and Jim the other day were talking about like, was there a actual Yes reference in JoJo? And then I read and then I just sent him this. Oh yeah, there's the
we
Yes
were
reference.
really like going through because we were like, okay, yeah, they have the roundabout in the first season. Roundabout's the OP or the ED, and then I was like, wait, shit, Yes has not been referenced. But I was wrong because he referenced in JoJolion.
And as a family crest, we see the tattoo that Kira had.
Yeah.
Or the marking that I not remembered anymore.
I don't know what the significance of that is.
It's just like writing this stuff that does not come.
I don't remember this.
No, yeah, there was like the Higashikata like family crest or something. It was like some sort of symbol that was associated with them, and that was like
an
peppered
arrow
throughout the house. Yeah,
It is weird.
and then like Kira also had that on him, but that could have also been something that like Joseph had. Right?
Jofume, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know. We still don't know too much about Jofume, like as much. I guess
his
as much as
mom's a
Kira.
jerk.
Yeah, that his mom's a jerk, and he did everything for Kira.
Did we see
And her.
Josephime's mom?
Yeah, we see her in the flashback.
Yeah.
She has a flashback where Josuke is like swimming in the ocean, and he's like, if I recall correctly, he's like drowning.
Yeah, and she doesn't care.
Yeah, because she's just like, I want to hook up with some.
What is it with
Some
the
hot
SBR
men's.
universe and like children drowning? Like, what the fuck? It's happened like 3 times.
It's
Or
like
having,
general
like-
peril.
Just having bad parents.
Yeah.
So that's. That's why I wrote
So-
down Dia lost. That's how Dia got her stand and everything.
All right.
Yasha's
so-
drunk mom. That's right. Her
Yes.
weird drunk mom that also plays PlayStation.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Yasha comes home and she's like playing PS2.
What?
Fucking awesome.
Jesus Christ.
That was during Paper Moon King.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's a weird little thing that I just take note of. And then they said Dia is being weird and creepy, wants to lick and kiss him all over. In an almost sex scene with a 16-year-old.
What? Yeah, what the
Jesus
fuck?
Christ.
And Gappy's assumed 19 years old, too. Like, they
Yeah.
estimated
Yeah.
that he's around 19.
It's weird. What were you saying, Jim, by the way? You started saying something earlier.
I forget.
So like Gappy's is like something that unconsciously, a lot of people use their stands unconsciously, which I've noticed is a kind of a running thing.
Uh-huh.
Especially recently with Sarugi has been doing it too.
Yeah, but I
So-
think that's like specifically associated with like the trauma and stuff. I don't think that's like a... I think
Yeah.
that's a little bit unique to...
I don't know, when the dad walked into them like on top of each other in the bed, you think King Nothing would have activated to like in anger.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Well, it would have if it
Holly.
fucking did something. Sorry, what were you saying, Jim?
Going back to what you'd said earlier about the whole thing where Johnny Joestar's corpse is now like the thing that's like helping with the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not sure if this was part of like there's some guy that did this incredible video about JoJolion.
Oh, yeah.
But part of it was like I'll link it somewhere on like the description. But he talks about how like the devil's palm or whatever, the devil's hand, whatever those things were like the areas where people got stands. So that is a really like good correlation. Like if Johnny Joestar's remains are in this like cave that the Higashikatas do the ritual in, then that would explain like why the people, at least the people in Morio, have stands.
He's a headless corpse.
We do also know, I'm pretty sure that in that one little like description page for the rock people that it says that most have stands.
95%, I think
Yeah.
it was.
That is like a humongous bombshell that's dropped in like this just weird like info page.
So
Yeah.
what if the rock that crushed Johnny's head is like has the imprint of Johnny's head, and that's what's in there as like?
I mean,
a weird...
I think that definitely has to have something to do with it. The fact that it's all fucking rock fruits and rock humans and rock disease. I feel like the fact that his head was crushed by a rock is pertinent in some meaningful way. Like,
So
Yeah.
so weird.
it kind of has to be.
But yeah, that's just like the Gappy making 900 IQ plays in that fight in the California King bed, which I like. Daya's just really creepy. Everybody's like weird. Then he just does the part 4 thing where after he beats her, she just like comes like 100% loyal.
Yeah.
The Diamond Unbreakable like weird thing. I guess it only works in the family and not like the rock people, because the rock people get murdered horribly.
Yeah. I can definitely
trust
see
them.
I can definitely see JoJolion having a sort of like DIU style ending where like everyone comes together to fucking kick
I would love
Jobin's
that
ass
so
or
much.
whatever. I don't know.
If anything, I feel like we're at least gonna get that with the family, and
Yeah.
that makes a really like interesting dynamic because the family's like really tight. So having them turn on
man.
Jobin is gonna be like a big. At least I think it would be a pretty big moment.
This is a normie reference, but have you seen Breaking Bad?
Hell yeah!
You know the
dude, very
fucking
good.
part where Walt Jr. and Skylar are like they're like holding the knife to Walt or whatever, and he sees that he has ruined his entire family. I would love to see a moment with that with like Jobin and the Higashikata family. That would be heartbreaking.
Because like this last chapter really makes Jobin seem like he's not like one of those like mustache twirly bad guys. Like he's doing everything for his family at this point.
Yeah,
it's
he
not
is
about
very,
making money
like-
or.
Yeah, he's very like Walter White-esque or like something like that. Yeah, where he's like he's basically a fucking drug lord. Like
He already
Literally,
shaved,
yes.
He shaved an eyebrow, so that's close enough. So,
Yeah, I really love Jobin. I'm very excited to see what happens with him. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the entire part.
Yeah.
Remember that one of the other big early reveal things was like the family tree stuff that they showed, like where you see like Joseph and George Joestar all exist. Kaito's name's on there as well, and like Kira's dad's the only one on there with a deaf ear. I noticed that's on the family tree.
Yeah,
With a
only the
what?
ones that are recent enough to be important.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's the only one that has like, oh yeah, this is his time of death.
Yeah, essentially. Oh yeah, there was another one. There was a Joseph Joestar, right? Like
Yes, there was.
despite there being
what?
already a Joseph analog in JoJolion in Joseph Me, but yeah.
I don't know. They're not gonna go in that history. That's too complex.
It's something that I really like about JoJolion is that it's not like same thing with Steel Ball Run too, where like it's not like he's just totally remaking it. Like he'll take a lot of like disparate elements. Like you see characters that wouldn't have been in the same timeline, and like what's his face? Stroheim was in part 7, kind of.
Yeah.
Like there was a Stroheim monologue. And
Abdul.
this one as well.
Abdul
has,
was
like,
there too.
Yeah, Abdul was there. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Part 8 has like a lot of like I feel like part 5 through part 5 and 6 references, which is really cool. Obviously 4, like it feels like the more second half of the.
I do like the way it's done in JoJolion better than in Steel Ball Run personally. In Steel Ball Run, especially in the beginning, it felt like a bit too self-referential and kind of a little bit masturbatory almost. With like Stroheim and stuff, it felt like, okay, this is clearly fan service. But with JoJolion, it feels like it's actually like it's to some sort of end. Like there is some point to this.
Yeah.
I feel like he's trying to say something with it, like how they share names with pre-existing characters, but like they clearly are very distinct people.
And it's this really interesting way of telling a story that you can't really do in almost any other way or medium, because Araki has like 30 years of experience with like this long history of characters, and him being able to reach back into the history and like recontextualize a character. Like Kira in part 8 feels so much more interesting and like special,
Super different.
as like a sort of like inverse reflection of his part 4 character.
A serial killer and hand fetishists.
Same thing with like the one of the things that I always think of is like you can't do this in like any manga that's not doesn't have like a legacy, is the Diego world reveal in the very end of part 7 is just like this moment that is so incredibly like it's a big like page turn moment, and you really need to have this like long history of JoJo and like
Big
a deep
dick
connection
moment.
with these
Yeah,
characters.
I think my favorite moment of that is still like with Josuke 8 Gappy, like how I think it like I've talked about this to death, so I'll be short about it, but like how like in the narrative of the story he has no distinct identity because he is two different people. And the whole story is about him trying to find his identity. And also, in the metafiction of JoJo, he also doesn't have a distinct identity. He shares a name with another pre-existing character.
Ah.
So, like, it works, like, on the reader as well, where, like, we sort of feel his lack of an identity to where we've given him one, basically.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. It's something that just, like, most things can't accomplish because they don't have that level of, like, weird metafiction.
Yeah.
Got multiple decades worth of material, man. And he's able to like keep making new stuff and make it fresh, even if he reuse or reimagine characters. Crazy.
Right.
And then like on the complete opposite angle or opposite like side of storytelling, you have a character like Mitsuba who's literally been in the story for like 10 chapters and she's already like
A major
one of
character.
the coolest and most interesting in JoJolion.
Definitely,
in my opinion.
yeah. I think maybe one of JoJo's like most conflicted characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a huge thing. It's always like a family thing in JoJo, but this has probably been the heaviest family thing in like in JoJo yet.
Because normally it's like a legacy thing. It's about this like long history of family, but this one it's like
or it's like
we
parent
have,
and child, if anything.
Yeah, but this one it's like we have a very different dynamic where we have someone who isn't really part of the family but has been accepted into it, and their entire like role is sort of
It's also like two sides of the family.
how he's gonna
like,
go.
You have the Hishikata side, and then you have like the Holly side. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of its own thing going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is why I want more Kyo. Damn it, give me
Right.
Kyo.
Give
Who?
me.
Her mom is literally like this fucking major character, and she's
What's-
not doing anything.
I think I wrote that where like she's like that moment where she like, breaks down to Gabby. I love that moment. It's just like, oh, she's who cares? It's her mother's. She should be like with them trying to help Holly because this is like the home stretch, really.
I actually forgot that Kyo and Holly and Gappy are technically related.
Yeah,
I
Yup.
totally forgot about that.
yeah.
Oh my
But no,
god.
why would they get her involved? She can easily, she could probably pursue the head doctor with her stand.
She's
Yeah.
actually been trapped by Enigma into a book.
She can freeze the doctor.
Did she okay. At the end of that arc, did she leave the Higashikata estate like as a like did
What,
she
the end of
Vitamin
Born-
C.
Oh, vitamin C. I don't
did she
think
I
so.
forget, like I thought she fucking
'Cause-
left.
Because I
thought
feel like
there
with
was a
all the
little moment.
complaints, people would have brought it up by now if she did.
Yeah.
All the complaints are just
Yeah.
like, where's Kyo? Where's our maid?
That being said, though, there was a lot of people that complain about JoJo that like did literally read it and they just forget.
I mean, a
things.
lot of people complain about part 8 because it's the first like part. It's like ongoing that they finally get caught up to. and
Yeah.
Mhm.
They can easily like pick everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I thought the last arc that Kyo was in was the Vitamin C one.
That's what I thought.
I might be wrong.
I mean, she made it popped up in the background like other chapters. There's a lot of parts where it just kind of shows around the estate and with various members of the. So, there's one weird use during Born This Way where Gappy takes like the cat's fur and like makes like an outline of a cat in front of the camera. Do you remember that? Because it was like
I
really
do,
weird and
yeah.
horrifying.
I do not remember.
The way it was done too, it felt almost like it was involuntary. like it wasn't something that Gappy was like, oh, let me just make a replica of this cat out of its own fur. Like it felt like something that just happened, like without his like direct input. I don't know.
I don't know. He could like directly use his stand now or whatever he wants to, and he just like makes like a husk, like an outline of a husk. It's creepy.
Yeah, it's weird. He's done a lot
But-
of weird things with hair.
It's very
I
true.
really like how he's redesigned, or not even redesigned, but like totally reimagined Love Deluxe as like
Yeah.
this weird like hair grows out of things now.
Yeah. It's the use of Love Deluxe is so freaking ridiculous. Like, oh, I can know the pin because the age of the hair on the pin. I'm just like, why?
Big brain,
God.
big brain.
Sure, but yeah, there's like a lot of like lots of eye injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Holly then we get the first real interaction with Holly,
Oh, yeah.
where she has porn. And I think Yashu's a porn like actor or artist or whatever you call it.
God, I forgot about that.
A porn artist.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna guess so. I'm acting.
Porn
as an
actors
art,
can
so.
refer themselves as artists.
Artistes.
Artistes.
Hey, yeah, they're allowed. They can do it if they want.
They're allowed.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
she knows that Yashu has a stand, and she isn't consciously using it, which I thought was interesting. That Holly knows.
Oh, that's
all about
another big
stands.
thing. Yeah, like I'm assuming that Holly has a stand. Like Kyo has a stand, and also the whole thing with like the part 3 version of Holly, like also being a stand user.
That she actively knows about stands and stuff, and like can tell. Like it's interesting. I mean, maybe it'll come back to play when she saves the day when she's fully healed, and she revealed not to be the main villain.
Yeah.
Holly is going to be revealed as the main villain.
Never.
Fuck
Totally.
you.
This
Shut
totally
the fuck
isn't
up.
a bad theory that I had like 2 years ago.
Such an awful
You
theory.
have to die by.
Hey,
I have to die by
it would
my
have been
part
a
6
crazy
opinions.
reveal. It would have been a crazy.
It would have been. Granted, 2 years ago, pretty much anything was on the goddamn table. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I think a
That
lot
one
of
chapter
the...
with Holly was crazy recently.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of the misconceptions, as far as, like, JoJolion is concerned, is that's the first chapter, or the first part that a lot of people are reading as it's coming out, and not after it's
Yeah.
completed. So it's really easy, like, in retrospect, to be like, oh, yeah, obviously this happened, because this is how it ends. But, like, with JoJolion, we don't really have that luxury. I can only imagine reading Steel Ball Run in real time and being like, who the fuck is the villain? It can't
When
be
is
this
this
funny
train gonna
Valentine
end?
guy who's fucking ugly. Like,
When are we gonna get off this
And then he becomes
train?
hot.
when are we gonna get off this train?
We've been 15 chapters deep into this train.
Holy shit.
But yeah, then like
And then people are also just like, oh yeah, when's Hot Pants gonna come back?
ooh,
Ooh.
ooh, awkward.
Yikes.
And then
Yeah.
like I read, there's just many horrific injuries. Like Gabby gets his face on a tire. Like I'm born this way.
Oh, I don't
And-
remember that.
And then there's also like the helmet is like there's like Born This Way has a helmet on, and they can just take it off whenever.
Takes it off, yeah.
It's weird because like I guess it's kind of like the armor of that Polnareff had on his stand, where like he can just take it off.
Yeah,
Like a weird
It's-
safety part.
it's very weird, yeah.
Oh yeah, also like Kyo gets like hurt, like hilariously punched by Soft and Wet,
Yeah.
which is like hilarious because she's such a straight laced character for the most part, other than like the one breakdown she had. So her getting like the goofy beatdown of like the face being like morphed as they
Yeah.
do in auras.
I think that, like, it's pretty clear that for years, JoJo has had some sort of tokusatsu influence with, like, the stands. But I think
Yeah.
that Born This Way is really weird in that it's just a fucking guy. Like, it's
I know.
it's just
It's
a
like-
guy riding a bike.
It's a combination of what Josuke went through during Highway Star and Highway Star. Like,
And not only is it a guy on a bike, but the guy on the bike is almost completely unrelated to the ability itself.
yeah,
Like-
I think
Yup.
only that one time when like it came out of like the pen or whatever, and it's like pushing him to the wall or something,
Yeah.
or at a
Oh.
taxi. And like it's actually using the bike for like, offensive abilities.
That pen reveal is like one of my like favorite stand moments ever. Like
So
the
good.
cleverness of her to just throw a pen and then it opens and the opening causes the stand. Oh,
Yeah.
this is what I live for, guys.
Oh, I've also heard another weird Paisley Park ability when she makes the nurse like think she's the person with like the broken nose, and like even though she's not clearly bleeding from the nose or anything, she's like thinking she does. It's kind of weird Paisley Park ability.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird.
Yeah,
Paisley
because she
Park's weird.
messes with perspective or like I don't know the or her eyes. I don't. It's weird.
Paisley Park can do anything. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty much. And then yeah, the weird thing the doctor's talking about Holly's condition where she sees humans as things, and she has multiple parts missing from her.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I don't know.
It's a weird
It
thing.
is.
And
It is weird.
And then the lemon tangerine showcase. A lot of weird explanations in this chapter.
Yeah,
Like,
I like that one though. It's pretty.
I love that.
it
but it's
makes
just, like-
immediate sense. Like, yeah.
yeah. And then the Killer Queen's first appearance, and we learned that it has exploding bubbles. Like, a lot of reveals in that chapter.
Yeah.
I'm just like going through these notes, so many weird things. And then we get immediately after that reveal chapter, we get swimsuit breakfast, if you remember.
Yes.
Oh my god, you're right.
This-
Fucking.
I'm just like scrolling through a lot of JoJolion right now, and I totally forgot about that until I saw it, and I was like,
Because they were gonna go to Hawaii, but Haito forgot her passport, never got her passport. I'm like, imagining what if the family went to Hawaii and it's just like Gappy and like Joshu and Tsurugi and probably Kyo living in the house.
And yeah, we get Joshu's best line, "I'm not putting on my bathing suit because I don't believe in God."
Oh yeah, I wrote down atheist Chad Joshu.
see, more evidence that Joshu is the best character, and we should all respect and love him.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you what to eat his fucking pancakes. So yeah, then Gappy was to go to school for all but one chapter.
Yeah, it's really weird to think that there was a time where Josuke was like going to school and party.
Yeah.
Also, my notes for Shakedown Road are just Shakedown Road is nuts and weird.
Okay, but Shakedown Road
Very
is the best
insightful, very insightful
example
comments.
of Joshu being great.
Oh, I was on Tits McGee because that's when he has a big-breasted woman.
But like fucking Joshu legitimately has a good character moment there where he has Josuke breaking the glass on footage and he just deletes it. Like that shows he's not just like a total asshole. Yeah.
He just has a
he was also
haircut.
withholding the information. Yeah, a lot during this as well. Then get the first Nut King call used, which I think I wrote as this felt like a stand that would have been Anasui's stand. It would have been like a perfect stand for him.
Yeah, almost a little bit because it kind of works.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because he takes things apart. Yeah.
Yeah,
But instead, he can dive in you.
you can dive in and also
Ew.
store punch.
Also,
Somehow
people-
creepier.
People can see the screws from Nut King call because the guy like literally like pulls it out of him.
Oh yeah.
Another thing I wrote. But I love his appearance of Nut King call. It's so weird that he chose him to be in Eyes of Heaven and like use it, even though it's like I think this is probably the only chapter they had of him during that. But it's cool usage. Like it's like horrific.
Yeah.
No, they have like 3 years of chapters, I think, because that came out 2014.
They had a
Yeah.
few, but like I think Joshu, I think that they probably felt that he was being built up as like this sort of side character, like this sidekick, and not just like a weird bit part.
Yeah.
like a weird antagonistic Joe bro for the entire time.
I do think Joshu is gonna have a hero moment I don't think it's gonna be big. I don't think he's gonna fucking beat the shit out of Jobin, but I think he's gonna have a little character moment that ends up saving Yasuho's life. I really do.
That'd be so good.
He's gonna be the one that fights Toru. The battle of her
That would be shocking.
of her like weird exes.
For not ex-boyfriend.
If her not ex-boyfriends that creep on her still.
That would
Except-
actually make so much sense. Holy shit.
That is-
Oh my
I'm very looking
God.
forward to this
The Virgin
now. Better
Joshu
happen.
versus the Chad Toru.
Yeah, holy shit.
I can't. That'd be great. I can't wait. I'll throw all my money.
Yeah. Well, because, like, him showing up after so long there has to be something there. Like, as opposed to any of the other family members. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
Yeah,
just like
he
everybody
definitely does feel like he was built up more than like Daya or Hato or.
Yeah, Daya's like a fangirl.
Mhm.
So yeah, then we get the whole Johnny fate, which is like the big thing of this chapter. And so Johnny's wife is like face is morphing like Tsurugi's but Tsurugi's is way more intense.
Yeah.
But like all the other the fold up origami faces were kind of just folded up
Mhm.
because it's gross still. But
It is so gross.
and then probably one of the biggest oh shit moments is like we learned that he like dug up the holy corpse, which is like one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
that we like learned.
I'm
and
sure.
raises so many questions.
I'm sure a lot of people have like a knee-jerk reaction to that being, no, Johnny is good now. But like, I like him still being a really flawed person.
Mm-hmm.
I like
My favorite is the government chasing him constantly. There could have been like a mini arc story of just like the government, him like trying to deal with the government chasing after him.
Yeah, I love the idea of Johnny being on one hand this huge war hero, and on the other hand being a complete and total liability to the state. Like,
We let like a former cripple get into our secret vault to steal the corpse. So yeah.
This
And
is
then-
actually a really good time to bring up one of the things that I'm like not 100% convinced on, but it really would make, or it just feels like it's important, is that Johnny gets shot in the head in like the same exact way that poor Tom does, where we see just like a random, like, it feels like an offshoot out of nowhere, just
Wasn't that how he
pierces his skull.
Isn't that how he transferred the sickness? Was just using Act 4 and like it transferred, like shot himself in the head,
Act
like transferred.
3, I think, but
that's what it looked
like.
And then he falls down. Then the rock comes out of the sky.
Then the rock just hits him for no reason.
To add insult to injury.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't want to speculate that like that the rock that fell is actually like a huge like scheme. I think that's probably just a random thing that happened.
The rock human in hibernation fell from the sky and like crushed him.
It's a fucking asteroid.
That's where the stand arrow comes from, you know.
God.
Yeah, that's how we get the stand arrows introduced, but they bite you instead.
This is another thing to bring up. So, like, in front of the, like, there's like a little statue for the memorial for Johnny Joestar, and there's the statue's wearing Josuke's hat.
He said because Johnny wore a similar hat, and I was like, because I wrote that in my note, but then there's like one panel where he's wearing the sailor hat like over his normal hat.
But like, Josuke's hat is, I don't know if we had this discussion before with Holly, or if I heard it somewhere else, but like Josuke's hat is like not similar to like any other hat. It's custom made. Kira's hat.
It is, yeah. It's custom made for
at the Steel Ball Run hat shop, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, and we've also never seen Josuke's hair.
We haven't.
Which is crazy.
I was unsure if it was just a weird design quirk, like, oh, we've also never seen his dick, but like whatever. But like when they put out the chapter where he's in the hospital and it's very clearly obscuring his hair, like the framing is set so that you can just barely not see it, and then he grabs his big hat. Brain. Yeah, like there's. I know basically the two big theories are he has a pompadour, which I think would be super fucking boring. Like,
I mean, you get Jofume's hairstyle somewhere in there.
But
I agree.
Yeah, the number two theory is that he has like Elvis hair, which I really like that.
Maybe he's attached to him because he came out of the hole with the hat.
Yeah.
And he can't take it off.
That'd be the weirdest reveal. It's like, oh no, this is just part of my flesh now.
Yeah.
No one ever asked.
I still think
I want to find that one guy's video. I want to mention his name because
I think it's Aeonstar, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a whole thing where he basically speculated that Josuke is like literally Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And like, it's gonna be like the Elvis hairdo, and he's gonna have like this soft and wet's gonna evolve into what did he say? Creole King.
King Creole.
This guy had a really good video. King Creole.
Yeah.
Because like he's gonna like assume the role of a Higashikata. I really love that video.
Yeah.
Mad props to that guy.
That'd be I think that would be a great progression.
He takes the aspects of a Joestar and a Hishikata.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that like even without all of that, the fact that he's constantly striking Elvis poses is like enough to speculate on that.
And that's when Saru gets King Crimson, and he has to fight King Crimson.
Oh man,
the other theory.
Like the king thing has to amount to something. There has to be a fucking reason for it. It's so weird and random.
With the occasional queens. I mean, who's had the idea that the Stan was just gonna be queen? It was like Gappy's Stan was just gonna just not be Killer Queen, but just straight up.
I remember seeing that on Twitter. I thought that was really cool. A really cool theory.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh,
but
I don't think
there we go.
It depends if Iraqi knows who Queen of the Stone Age are.
I'm sure he might.
I don't know. His modern music take is Limp Bizkit and Marilyn Manson.
Hey, Lady Gaga too.
Lady Gaga, yes.
Lady Gaga, yes, of course.
I mean, he's probably at least heard No One Knows. Like that's.
Right.
I don't think he's a big T Swift fan.
Iraqi's played Rock Band before.
Played Guitar Hero. It's like that's great. But yeah, also the chapter after that, we get Yasho's weird elbow lick, and then the mystery baby news.
Oh, the weird mystery baby news story about the baby. Yeah.
Oh,
that's one of those things that I'm just I don't know where it's gonna go.
Question mark.
I know people have speculated that that's Akifu.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird one. I don't think I buy it. The timeline just does it just slightly doesn't add up. Given like rock human lifespan, it's just outside of that. But
he's 89 years old.
Oh, but yeah, he's 89 years old.
The funny fucking meme that I love.
So it's much. Weird too. It's so funny every time it gets repeated. But like,
Oh man.
It's weird that it was brought up so often and like never really resolved. It's pretty clear that he's a rock human. He's way beyond his years. Like, that's obvious. That just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or he's some weird metaphysical manifestation or something. I know I've had the theory that he's basically the inverse of the Holy Corpse, where he just causes misfortune all around him. Because that's
like a head doctor?
what happens, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very similar to what happens with Love Train.
Yeah, where it redirects.
Yeah.
It redirects bad luck.
And then he got his medical degree and became the head doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have a medical degree because they said that he's a title. The head doctor is a title only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're to believe the NPCs,
we learned that rock humans like steal the identities. Like that is their gimmick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tamaki Damo didn't like come up in the fucking dry cleaning industry.
Because I think for the architect, I think they said like 10 years ago, like he stole the name from like the son of someone.
Speaking of Yotsuyu, yeah, I think that was what happened. Also, remember when he took like cellophane out of his eye?
Oh, I think about this scene a lot.
Or like mouth? Was it his eye or his mouth?
It's his eyes. His eyes start to like flutter, and then he pulls it out, and he like starts to strangle Yasuho with it.
So that's weird.
Yeah, that's one of those things that like sometimes you just can't try and make logic out of something that's happening with a stand user who you haven't seen their stand yet. But even still, like, how can we justify this? How can we reverse engineer this power?
You can't. It's just weird rock human shit, and I don't think we'll ever know.
Yeah, rock human is still like a big thing because Yasha's still getting that hair clip. Just kidding, she's getting drowned in toilet. But I wrote down like during the Paper Moon King, just like Tsurugi acting like creepy, like or right now Tsurugi, where he's just like really ominous and like plays therapist. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Yeah,
he's like really creepy in it.
I think I do. Yeah, he's like, I don't know.
He's just like following Yasho and just being creepy.
Yeah.
And then after the stand fight, he's like a little like weird, he's a creepy kid, but he's more of a goofy, creepy kid.
Yeah, well, I think people just get used to him.
You get used to it, like Joshu trying to rape Yasho in a bathroom stall, and then Yasho runs into a random car and almost gets date raped or drugged.
Jesus fucking Christ! Can
you
give Yasuho a goddamn break already?
And then because civilians are always disgusting monsters in JoJo.
Evidently, yeah.
Yeah, and then that just basically was my takeaway from Paper Moon King, is just being the weird. I love the stupid face it gives everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like like, where did I see that face? It felt like a Johnny Bravo like face.
Yeah.
Like Japanese Johnny Bravo.
It looked like a Dark Souls character you just hit randomized like 100 times.
Yes, exactly. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, we learned that.
Let's jump to some of these.
Norisuke learned about like him being cured like as a kid. Like that's when we learned about the disease, really, the family curse. So we can talk about the family curse a bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good discussion.
I wrote this down because like, I don't know if this is just me not knowing how to read. It probably is, but I had this misconception early on, and I don't know if it was the way it explained it or if it was just the way that I read it. But I had the implication was that the rock disease would be broken if just anybody died within proximity of the person infected. But apparently there's like way more to it. There's like a whole ritual.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I guess I kind of thought that too. Yeah, I kind of thought that it was like just this nebulous idea that we need a life for a life, and that it would just be if you just died near them. I never thought it through, I guess, and thinking about it, I was like, maybe there needs to be like more to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was like, because like it didn't really affect the Joestar side, except for like Holly's being affected right now, but we don't even know if that's like the actual disease.
I don't think that's rock disease because first of all, she's female and doesn't affect.
Still,
it only affects.
Maybe that's how it affects the Joestar side.
Yeah,
that's they got the daughter side or something. On that family, since they only had sons up until Holly.
Yeah,
because if you think about because they all had sons. I don't know. I'm just speaking out of my ass.
Yeah.
I just like you never know. Honestly, it's stuff they pull, and then I don't know. They just don't have that whole.
If we can, I can probably bring it back to like where we are right now. So like the one big thing that is like the big speculative thing is what the hell is Gappy's plan? He has this weird plan. Yes. I know it's been like he's giving fried chicken to Dolomite or something. I don't fucking know.
That's my bet.
I do really like that.
That the Dolomite plan, if it is the plan, is genius.
And it kind of when I was looking back, and the way that Dolomite, like Blue Lagoon, starts attacking Gappy is when a random child like hands him a letter that has like his tooth in it and like the activation of it.
Yeah.
And so and when I see like the delivery man, it kind of reminds me of that. It's like, okay, if this man's delivering something, that it's kind of similar to that, but like we have to think of like how would Josuke have gotten anything from him, like Dolomite?
Yeah, it's.
What if you gave the Jokakaka to Dolomite and they healed him up from?
Fuck, I don't think that's possible.
I don't know.
I think it's been long enough that he's like, that's just who he is. Like, he's not like.
I live in the swamp.
Now. I'm a disgusting swamp.
Well, it's kind of like it's kind of like Crazy Diamond. How if you've healed completely from something, then you're not really wounded anymore. There's like nothing to fix. That's just how you are.
Or you can fix them into a rock, or fix them into a book. You know. That's how that works.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to break him first, I think. Yeah. Essentially.
So, okay. So, I have this note saying, because what's it called? The architect put, he's doing the waterboarding Yasho, and he says something that if he drives Paisley Park into a corner, something will happen to it.
It's very incredibly vague.
It's vague. So would that mean it can has more ability or something, or it has more potential? So you can Yasho now. Kind of think Yasho now is driven into the biggest corner ever. So I don't know.
Huh. Yeah. but why would he say that?
I don't know. That's the thing. He's literally inspecting your stand. Oh, this has potential, or maybe if you drive into a corner, something could happen to it.
Wait, who says that?
The architect.
Yotsuro.
Huh.
It's chapter 26 if you want to need a look up, but
yeah. Oh,
it's just a weird thing because it's just a weird stand inspection that you don't really see in Jojo. He's literally holding it out and just looking at it. Because
we also kind of saw that with what's his face? Ojiro asked to see the stands of Jobin and Tsurugi, which I thought was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
But it's also at the same time it's only looking at it, you can only tell so much, and he clearly wasn't able to tell how dangerous it was.
I really like how in parts 6 onward, stands are treated as more of a thing that it really does exist in the universe. It's
a part of that.
Yeah, in 3 through 5, it almost feels just don't think about it. It's just weird. But when in recent chapters or recent parts, it feels a lot more like it's a real thing, and it's sort of thought through how the existence of stands affects things, how Norisuke has a philosophy of I'm not showing my stand to anyone. It's showing someone your asshole.
Yeah, I really like that idea.
Yeah, just having characters actually think about what it means to have a stand and the implications of showing it to someone and stuff. I think that's interesting, and I like that. I don't know. Oh shit. I knocked something over. It's crazy that there's fucking Akifus around me or something.
Yeah. Yeah, part 8 really has. I think where part 7, it was a part, and if something came up, it was kind of just a representation of what their ability was. And so you had I guess that stand image to your head. So you're not just Johnny's nails.
Yeah.
Or you could be Mountain Tim and just be the rope in between him.
Right.
I love Mountain Tim so much.
Even Scary Monsters is just the dinosaur transformation. So yeah. It's just the image of stands really change in 8.
Yeah.
And between 7 and 8, even though being in the same universe. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I think it's interestingly gotten into a Rocky adding more limitations to them, which makes them more fun because it has to think about creativity. Mandem is one of my favorite examples where it's just kind of attached to his body, and it doesn't really do anything. A lot of the Part 7 stands are like that, but it's more about like this limitation. It's like a self-imposed limitation for his own like stand power. I feel like
the reason
we see that a lot.
The reason I've heard it explained is like because obviously the characters don't realize that time has been turned back, and like the implication is that Ringo doesn't either. So him turning back the watch is like his note to himself, oh, I just turned back time.
Yeah.
Like,
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it anything we talk about the architect fight other than just like
no, it's just cool.
I mean, the architect lived in the shelter, underground shelter before the quake. I thought it was interesting.
King Nothing is cool. It doesn't do anything, but it's cool.
He's very cool.
And then so we get the dog, the first dog to be cured in JoJo.
Iwasuke.
Yeah, Iwasuke. Yeah, I think it's Iwasuke.
He's been a little absent too. My fan theory is that he died during the Ozone Baby fight.
Damn.
Because we haven't seen him since Ozone Baby.
God.
And Ozone Baby affected like the entire state, so it's possible that his little puppy brain exploded.
Yeah. I know people have said that like, because there's that weird panel of him eating like something.
The fruit.
He eats the fruit, yeah, and it's weird. I know people have thought like, oh, he is the one doing the bite marks and everything, but that doesn't make sense because
they look like human.
They look like human bite marks, and this happened like this also was happening way before. Like that can't be the origin of Stans. Was this fucking dog eating this fruit? Like,
and I feel like what's his face? There's so many Joes in this one. Joshu would have said, "Oh, stupid dog, but bit me again," or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like,
he wouldn't have been like, "Oh, what the fuck."
I mean, he only ate half of it, and that's what we've seen because he leaves the other half inside in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, he didn't eat the pit. I thought we were saying, oh, he just ate the pit, so maybe that's why. But no, the pit was like in.
Do
in
the
bed,
fruits have a pit?
I believe. The pit's the fruit.
Yeah. Do they have one though?
Like, I believe that was in the second half of the fruit.
I think we see.
I don't know. Oh man, I'm a bad fan.
Fake fan.
Fake fan. Yeah, I guess it does.
If I'm not responding, like Discord's crapping out on me a little bit.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Oh, we're fine.
Right. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I never really thought about the fucking biology of the little stupid fruit.
I don't know. We learn fruit's very important. It's our parfait glasses, because that one part where he just explains why it's so important.
Something we can connect back to, like one of the most recent things we've seen. The fruit that we see at the very end of the current chapter has like a very different look to it.
I didn't expect it to look so different.
It looks very sinister. It looks like I don't know. Before the fruit just looked a little nondescript.
Yeah.
Now it's like.
Yeah. Now it looks kind of like alien almost, and like it kind of gives me like poison frog vibes, where I'm like, ugh, it's kind of disgusting.
Like
there's something like just inherent in your biology that you don't want to eat this.
It reminded me of the fruit. I think the Tree of Might fruit from the Dragon Ball Z movie. It kind of reminded me of.
Hold on, I gotta look at this.
I think it's the Tree of Might.
I have vivid memories of watching this as a child. I don't know what it looked like. Hold on.
It's called the Dragon Ball Z Tree of Might. If I remember correctly, it looked like that.
I thought it. I don't know. We'll see.
Like a spiky
we'll see
fruit.
In 3 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah. It looks like a spiky fruit. It looks like a.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like if Jobin was fruit.
Oh, another thing that's interesting, like the architect really built up like Tsurugi being like super important. Like he's the only one whose actions are correct, he says. And I'm like, man, he's been building this Tsurugi thing up a long time.
Yeah, and it seems to be paying off. Like I feel like it's building up to some sort of payoff.
Hope so.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weird how Tsurugi was a little like absent for a bit. Like obviously during the like Dr. Wu and like Awakening 3 Leaves, like that was a pretty long fight. And...
Yeah, not away from the house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even a little bit after that, there was sort of that moment where it's like, oh, Tsurugi's a little antisocial and kind of weird at school. Like,
I love that one panel of him where he's like crouched at the with like the Girl Scouts or with the Scouts, and he just has like really squinty eyes. It's really like sinister looking.
He has to go through the trial of like the firstborn had to do to like ward off evil or whatever with like dressing up as the opposite gender.
Yeah.
So I could probably put a lot of stress on a kid.
Mm-hmm. Plus,
Especially-
actually, something was interesting though about that with I guess the translation, because with when the teacher is talking to Mitsuba, right, about Tsurugi,
Yes.
like the teacher is referring to Tsurugi as like he, right? But like does the teacher know that like the whole scheme is happening or whatever? Because like in
yeah, I don't
Japanese,
know.
obviously they don't have gendered pronouns, or they do, but like they're not commonly used like in everyday conversation.
Yeah.
Unless you are like specifically specifying like someone's gender.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a translation thing. They just kind of had to pick one, and maybe it's assumed that they know.
Yeah, it's I can't imagine that's an easy decision as a translator.
Nah, and like maybe because it's a school, they kind of probably have to know what gender
I guess
is.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was confusing to me because it seemed like that they were just like Girl Scouts. That Tsurugi
Yeah.
was just with Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
It didn't see any other boys. So yeah, I don't know. That's a really like interesting question to ask. Is how deep is the con?
Yeah, really. Like it seemed like it was pretty deep. They weren't even willing to tell like Josuke or Yasuho at first. Like,
But this is a thing that the family does for generations. So you think like maybe the town would know by now? This is a weird thing the family does.
This eccentric fruit family.
Yeah,
maybe.
this big fruit empire family.
I'm curious if Norisuke was like had a different name because he was also raised as a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I forgot they actually showed him
yeah.
as a little girl in the in like, this flashback, and it's great. His hair is still weird.
I wonder if they still call him fucking Norisuke, which is like the most masculine fucking name. Like,
Yeah, he went by Nora or something. I don't. Who
maybe
knows?
yeah.
Nora.
Closest thing I could think.
Noriko or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I was like a minute. I'm just getting to like the bug fight.
Oh, one of my favorite parts. Such
It's
an
crazy.
incredible scene.
I think Noriko would mean seaweed child. Anyway, go on.
Probably the biggest Jobin introduction. I mean, we met Jobin in like the cafe, but this is like the first real like exchange between him and Gappy, and he shaves his eyebrow.
Oh yeah, the summer vacation arc is fucking amazing.
Do you remember what Jobin wanted if he won?
He was gonna lick Gappy's eyeball.
Yes.
Yep.
He has a weird eye thing going on in part 8.
What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
Oh,
this whole
that's why we
family's
love
weird.
him, though.
The whole family has a licking issue, I think.
Yeah. Though I do have a little theory because I theorized that he wanted to get close enough to see if Gappy was a fusion of two people.
Ah.
Coulda. He wanted to taste it.
Probably easier ways of going about that, but I feel like that might have been an implication of it. I don't know.
He wanted to see the taste of a 2 men in 1. Like, you can taste a liar, so you may as well be able to taste that.
Yeah.
So
Also,
yeah.
something I had totally forgotten until someone corrected us like a few months ago that Josuke just owns his Lamborghini now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, his
just
golden
won the fucking
Lamborghini.
Yeah, I always forget that it's a golden Lamborghini too. Like the fucking golden Lamborghini stuck in the tree is one of the funniest visual gags
My
in like
garage.
all
great.
of JoJo.
Memoria
It is
Hills.
never going to be addressed how they got it up there.
I want that art of like Jobin as Ty Lopez in my garage with his new Lamborghini hair.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to do it.
I want that fan art to exist. So yeah, we had that amazing fight. It's probably one of my favorite like weird JoJo fights.
Beetle tendency, as I've heard it called.
Oh yeah,
Beetle sumo. Just Beetle being rip it apart, and
It's so
it is
brutal, and I
so
feel so bad for
gruesome.
these-
Yeah,
this Beetle.
their minds being like sent into a rage. One being sent to a hormone rage. Like it's just weird. And then I wrote "Sexy Paisley Park" in the Lamborghini. If you remember that panel, Jim.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay,
dude.
I thought so.
It's one of my like all-time favorite panels.
Wait, which
from this
one?
part.
And then
when Paisley Park is like sitting in the driver's seat of the Lamborghini, and she's got her legs up, and she just
I think
looks
I do
fucking
remember that.
awesome. It's great.
then we get the first like real scary usage of Speed King, where he makes Gappy like bleed from his nose by like
Oh
heating
yeah.
up. It's
The
just
slow burn, no pun intended, of Speed King's like power reveal is, I think, really cool.
It's
And
really
that's-
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Not
I mean,
to,
he goes from
do that,
making his
not to,
nose
like-
bleed profusely to like the hemorrhage he gives Yasho, and
Yes.
then and then just murdering the Ojiro and his girlfriend.
Ojiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can make like the best case that he is the main villain. I don't like having this discussion because I think it's a little like I don't know. I think it's kind of missing the forest of the trees.
Plus I think it's a little bit like I think that at this point we can perceive of a JoJolion that doesn't have a strict main villain. Like, it doesn't really need one at this point.
We have multiple antagonists.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's been going pretty well without one for like 8 years.
Yeah, and even compared to part 4, like the threat of Kira wasn't like a continuous thing from like the very beginning of the part.
Yeah,
it did have this kind of more.
Steel Ball Run had both Diego and what's it called?
Funny
and
Valentine.
Funny. Yeah. So like even that.
I think a lot of the whole like main villain thing is a lot of like looking back and like seeing these characters at the very end of the part and being like, oh well, yeah, naturally Pucci was the main villain the whole time, but when you're actually going through it, it's like Pucci definitely maybe not the best example of this.
Yeah.
But Pucci has like much more of like a weird backseat role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just I think that like definitely it's evolved to a point where like I don't think it's gonna have like a big showdown with Jobin or Akafu or anything. Like I really I don't know. It feels like it's progressed further than that.
Mm-hmm. And the stand fights now are resolved so quickly. It's always like 1 or 2 actions is what seems to determine.
They run away too. They run away until they somehow corner the opponent.
It's really like a test of endurance and more of just like being like setting yourself up in the right position to win. Like
only with the head doctors, like when they actually lose and had to retreat.
Yeah.
And only with the vague, like, you have to go after him without going after him kind of thing.
Yeah. I still don't know how the fuck that's gonna resolve, but we'll see. I'm sure it'll be super cool and not weird at all.
Good luck with that. So the next... So yeah, we talked earlier about the second rock human, the security guard, like, Aisho. Mm-hmm. Aisho. I'm bad at pronunciation. It's fine. But
the longest last name in history.
I felt like this is like the most sympathetic rock human.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like I felt bad for him, and I felt like he didn't deserve to be like killed,
destroyed by a truck,
destroyed by a bus,
a bus rather.
Yeah, it sucks. Like
his whole girlfriend thing being like knocked down the house, like inside there.
Yeah, I can't say he isn't like an evil piece of shit because he is, but like still very sympathetic, especially with like I think an underrated part of it is like his genuine, I guess, like sympathy or like adoration of Yotsuyu and being like it felt like he was genuinely broken up that Yotsuyu got like fucking murdered.
Yeah,
like
and he came to him like Bruno, like he came to him and saved him from being trapped under rubble.
Yeah, for real. Like,
and also he was just defending himself.
Yeah,
he was walking in a park until he stepped on a banana peel, but he should have been a dog turd. Just saying.
Even with like Seko and Chocolata, where we have like similar relationships like that, as soon as Chocolata dies, Seko is like, oh fuck that guy, he must have been too weak. But like, it feels like it's sort of evolved in a way where it's like we have these villains who have genuine connections with each other and aren't just like evil, like. Yeah.
Like, this guy had a normal day job, and he was just trying to do a trade off of fruit, and then these two kids come along,
and
and then get hit by a bus.
And he was gonna fucking choke this like 11-year-old to death.
Hey, he asked for permission, to be honest.
But like they fucking murdered his friend. Like for all he knows, like this, they just fucking murdered him. Like,
it's just like. I felt like out of all the rock humans, like him being like brutally murdered is like least deserved.
Yeah, a little bit. It kind of had to happen, but yeah.
Yikes. I mean, but Dolomite being alive in his little swamp is still okay.
Yeah, he's just hanging out. I feel like the fact that he did live has to be something, right?
Has to be some importance, or not showing him actually being killed.
Because it is so rare to have a minor villain survive and have that not ever come up again.
Like, you see all, like, especially, like, the part 5, like, all the Hitman team, like, some of them are made way more sympathetic or likable, and you still have to kill them.
Right? Yeah, and, like...
I think part 4 had that, where some of the villains of the week that probably should have been fate worse than death that they do in that part. come back as friends. And even part 3, they were a lot of them were retired. Not
Yeah, that was kind of the way of being like, okay, he's done. Like this character's
like Oingo
done.
and Boingo.
Yeah,
and Horse.
yeah.
With the one of the ones from part 4 is Akira. He's a character that like, well, technically, I guess I don't know if you want to consider the Thus Spoke Rohan's canonical or not. We see him like interacting with humans again after he's like did horrible things.
He
like,
mutilated Okuyatsu's brother through like the power lines.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen or read Thus Spoke Yushibe Rohan, so I've heard it's good.
Only a couple.
They're really good. It's really just like a little background gag. It just shows. I always check the guy's name. The guy with the locks.
Yeah.
They show him and
Goblin Man.
And Akira in the background.
Yeah.
They are really good, and it's really funny because Araki did like 2 in the 90s, and then he didn't do any until like the very beginning of part 8. So the art style shift is like wacky.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And the new ones look so good. Like you can tell he's really just diving into like really interesting artistic ideas and scenes.
I'm still hesitant to check it out because I am decidedly not a Rohan fucker, but
a lot of it doesn't really have to feature Rohan, which is good.
Okay. I'll peep
Tonio
it out,
Trendy
yes.
makes an appearance, which is
I
real
heard,
fun.
yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite ones.
One of my
wacky.
interesting about the Aisha fight is it's like a battle of 3 automatic stands if you think about it,
Yeah, kind of.
and it's so fascinating. Other than like Tsurugi can sends his stand, but it's automatic.
Yeah.
But like it's such a weird fight because he doesn't even know like I don't even know what my stand's doing with the tornado.
I think that Aisho's like death, the way that it happens is one of the most interesting things to hear like out of context. Like, how does this character die? Oh, he disguises buses as his boss and then he gets fucking run over. Fucking oh my god.
So funny. But yeah, that was like going back. I think that's maybe one of my favorite characters going back and reading.
Yeah, for sure.
Like as a minor villain.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that fight, we get the debut of Band-Aid Yasho.
Oh god, you're
which
right.
I love.
Fucking let her let her live. Holy shit. She has been through so
Araki
much
wants to do
shit.
horrible things to her and like Tsurugi.
She's one of the most punished characters.
Really,
in JoJo that we've had in a
I feel
while.
like if she just fucking dies here, like that is gonna be the most like undeserved character ending of all time. She just life sucks and then you die the character. Like
It's the part without a healer too, which is like it's horrifying.
Uh-huh.
Unless you're Ray and you can like staple and glue yourself back together. But yeah,
I'm so convinced that was just him doing that with his clothes. I don't think that was.
Yeah, me too. It's gotta be his clothing.
I like to imagine it, that it's that it's hilarious when I think about it. I wrote Gappy sings a weird song about fries and fried chicken.
I have vivid memories of that scene.
Fried chicken has come up multiple times though. Conspiracy.
Ooh, suspicious. And
Probably
then
not.
in Carrera's first appearance, and then we get the
So
whole
when was
Carrera
that?
arc. Not the whole chapter 43 and 46 is Carrera's stuff. So
Yeah,
I wrote that she's the ultimate homeless person. Because
The ultimate homeless person.
she's the best like robber. She's like she would have made a killing on Shakedown Road.
fucking Danganronpa
Where she's
style
probably holding up
ultimate
today.
bomb. Yeah.
But yeah, and then we get the first picture of Jofume, Kira, and her, which is like a big thing. Because this is like
Oh my
this is when I first started reading it, and that was like a huge reveal seeing Jofume for the first time.
For sure. I cannot wait
All of
for the one shot.
All of the flashbacks in part 8 have like delighted me. Like every time there's a flashback, I love it. Normally, I feel like I have a tendency to not really care about flashbacks in media. Like a lot of times they feel like, okay, we're just like explaining something that I already know or whatever. But in part 8, they're really fun.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to do something like really cool with each one, and they all feel really meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I also wrote that Araki did face handcuffs again during this.
Wait, what?
The twins, like, when the cops come up, he like puts the hole through the cop's mouth and puts the handcuffs on it, and she handcuffs the arm to the face hole.
Did you do that before?
It's like in chapter 44, the twins do face handcuffs.
Yeah.
which is hilarious because he did it again. Because he did it when Mista had to deal with the criminal cop.
I don't remember that.
Wait, Mista?
Remember Mista in Trish's body had got the weird cop that came after him, that was the criminal, and he shoots him in the face and then handcuffs him to a pole.
Oh, I forgot he did that.
God.
So
I love
good.
that part so much. Also, I just want to talk about Carrera's stand design. Something that I forgot about until I'm looking at it now.
It's
It's
like
just
a rich
covered in hair.
It's like a woman wearing there's like over the top fur jackets or whatever you see.
Yeah, but it's like the hair is like coming out of it. It's disgusting.
It's got like a receding hairline too. It's really fucking. It's strange. Yeah.
It's a gross hair stand.
It really is.
Because like she puts food in she puts hair in food. She can steal wallets with her hair. She sees where you put your pin number in with hair. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a very odd stand.
Very, very strange.
It just its part is like the part where it's like the weird uses you get out of your stands, like the multiple uses.
That's what I love. I live for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then get the first Jokakaka mention in that.
Damn. Wait, it's crazy to
really?
think that was 40 chapters in.
Yeah, and then Carrera gets lit on fire. Like it's like after that, she gets like lit on fire from behind. It's like hilarious. And she like does it. It's so like crazy. But yeah, then the twins were only going for her, and then they get immediately jobbed out instantly.
Yeah, they're probably like one of my least favorite.
Yeah,
Same.
their
encounters.
designs are really bad, and their stands are dumb. They feel like
so
Part 6 characters.
yes,
They do.
Yes. So the key two had a soccer ball, but it's one of the stands that normal people could see because the cops could see the soccer ball being kicked around.
Yeah.
and then yeah, so that was a weird thing, but it kind of sucks because Carrera comes back saying "I'm back, bitches." It was like my favorite line probably in Part 8. Like she's like one of my favorites.
She's great. Yeah.
I just wish she'd come back.
Yeah, it's just funny how she just completely overshadows these like
Some of my favorite like female
arc
characters,
villains.
and they're like a group of female characters, and they just like disappear.
Yeah,
Two of
I
them
think
disappear.
pretty much all of the best female characters come from Part 8.
Like
essentially.
for
seriously.
sure.
Part 8 and Part 6.
Actually,
Listen.
Part 1.
Yeah. Oh no,
Just
I love Hermes and I love Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah, Foo. Even fucking Part 6 haters like Foo.
Yeah,
Fu
I mean,
is awesome.
I have Hermes as thank for me getting into JoJo, so
Hell
That's
yeah.
bizarre.
yeah, because my first time I seen JoJo was All-Star Battle, and I used Hermes, and I kind of had an attachment to Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wouldn't shut up about JoJo until I started watching it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't. You're like, it's stupid. This is for losers. I'm gonna go watch my Evangelion.
I mean, I was correct, as there are a lot of JoJo bronies. I just didn't have the words to express my thoughts.
Because like
Yeah.
I told you, like, part 1 is kind of like nothing special when you go watching it at first, but like
It definitely didn't grab me, and I feel like a lot of people.
yeah, I say it won't grab you at
Yeah.
first, but like you get to part 2 and you say you don't like it, then you don't have to watch it.
But now there's so much that I appreciate about part 1, especially going back and reading it. Like,
Especially you going back and getting into
Love it.
manga more.
Yeah.
yeah.
I read the Phantom Blood manga. It's pretty
tight.
I like it.
Yeah,
I really love
to.
the horror stuff, the horror elements, and that's like something that you see throughout JoJo.
Yes, especially
But, like-
vampires coming back in part 3.
Yeah.
It's so
Uh,
interesting.
And just Dio's whole like weird villa that he just like makes monster men in is awesome.
You mean
I love that
the
shit
human
so
heads on
much.
dogs or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Mars Attacks thing.
It
all
really
of,
does strike me as
Led
just
Zeppelin's
like
members.
throwing in everything in the kitchen sink and just being like, fuck it. I'm just gonna make something really cool.
We got Nazis in part 2. Indiana Jones stuff like Nazis and like weird Mayan muscle men. Like it's weird stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then Vitamin C, man.
Vitamin C. Remember when everyone thought that Tamaki Dama was gonna be the main antagonist?
Yeah, he had a lot of chapters for like an early on thing.
In
I mean,
fairness,
it
it
combined
makes-
the flashbacks as well.
Yeah, it makes sense, like on some level, you know.
Yeah.
But no.
I mean, you look at the man. There's no way that this he looks like early funny. He was like the funny Valentine.
Yeah. I guess it's
We're
a
like-
precedent that, like, ugly characters can be made hot so that they are the villain. But,
Yes.
like,
It explained because, multiverse.
sure, yeah.
Also, can we talk about how thick Hato is? Her stupid onesie.
God, yeah.
Nothing pisses me off more than characters that wear onesies. Foo Fighters is the only one that gets like, an exception
It's-
Well,
because
it's overall.
it's like
Yeah,
a
it's
real
overalls.
thing. Yeah,
It's,
It's
like a real
it's a
piece
real
of clothing.
onesie. We don't like raise like weird onesie over like a suit and tie.
like,
Or,
I just want to see like how he puts his clothes on. It doesn't need to be animated. Just draw like a few panels, Rocky. Show me how
you
he
heard him,
gets this
Holly.
thing on his
Get to
body.
work.
Okay. Wait, which character?
Right, Mamazuki.
Oh, yeah. I can
How does he put clothing on?
Easy.
Get on it.
Turns himself
Well,
into
actually-
spaghetti and slips into it.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That is good possibility. Not like Damo's weird. Damo has a bunch of weird like medallions or like pendants like Toru had. Like he had like
He's
a
fucking cool.
he had a saxophone.
Yeah, because he's fucking cool. I mean, what's cooler than a saxophone? And also those cool sunglasses he wears.
This is like a fighting game thing, but he looked like Ruf. If you remember Rufus from Street Fighter 4, just like he reminded me of him.
Around.
Yeah, but like the belly being like a fucking center thing.
Yeah.
Where like if he was animated, there'd probably be like hilarious belly physics.
I love Damo. I fucking
He's so
I
weird.
identify as Damo.
He's fucking great. I like him a lot. It's just that, like, I
Goblin.
think if he, obviously he was never going to be the main villain, but I think the thing that ruled him out pretty much immediately was that he put all his cards on the table all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his weird
It
hair.
just shows his balls. Like he just went right to the house, the estate, and was just
He
like,
just goes,
"I've
I'm gonna
won."
fucking kill you guys. Like,
I'm gonna melt you off.
immediately.
And he almost does.
There's no way you last the rest of a part doing that shit. Like,
He puts Joshu down the drain.
yeah, for
I
real.
love that so much.
It's so funny. It's just it's like a horrifying stand. It's just like if you like put Spice Girl and like exceeded it like on crack.
Yeah, I've always said that vitamin C is kind of like if Chocolata had Soft Machine.
Mhm.
Like, just this
And
fucking
the chapter,
sadist
though,
that
just-
can turn you into cellophane.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, and the different things that he does with it are just like so creepy. Like when he drops the fish inside of Norisuke's body,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just like swimming around. Like,
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
His money.
I love it.
It's just like it's gross. It's probably one of the grossest chapters.
Oh, yeah.
or arcs. Like this is like everybody got like hyped on Part 8 after this arc. Like
Mhm.
people were on that high. Then you get the weird
Yeah.
like the the high toe stand with like the heels.
Yeah, Walking Heart.
Walking Heart.
Walking
Yeah.
Heart.
I read that apparently it's not the heels of her shoes, but her actual, like, foot heels that are extending.
Ugh.
And that
That's
makes me want
awesome.
to fucking die. But, I do like Hato having, like, Walking
A
Heart.
moment.
And yeah, it's like, she has a moment, and it's pretty clear that she's, like, a non-combatant, right? But she's like,
Yeah.
well, if I have this stand, I'm gonna fucking use it, like, now of all times. But,
Because like just like how Joshu has his, where he kind of uses it for shitty reasons, not like for actual combat.
right, like, these are people who are very obviously not the type of people who need a stand, but if they have one, they're gonna use it. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, just like the idea that they animated it and just like the sound of just like bone just like cracking or
Ugh.
like going that way.
Yeah, holy shit.
Ugh, it's gross. Everything's gross. Joshu's
I
gross.
really like the design for Walking Heart too. It's got a weird like. It feels very Lady Gaga inspired.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. It I don't know, I like its design, but it almost feels like not evocative of anything. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it feels like a sketch.
Yeah.
like, just like a sketch.
it
Almost.
feels kind of unrelated to Hato in any way.
Mhm.
Just to be her like just for the image of her walking up with their stand.
Well, when Hato's stand evolves, the end of part 8.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Walking Heart Requiem Act 4.
Fucking lord.
She's the real hero. She's the actual main protagonist, Jim. You didn't know. It's
Yeah.
the fight
She
Holly.
can extend anyone's heels from
She has to-
anywhere.
oh,
And when-
ugh.
her final move is she makes everyone's heels extend so long they all go to space and die.
Oh my god.
That's how. And then you stop.
And they meet
blinking.
Cars, and they find Cars. Yeah. There we
Cars
go.
Cars grabs onto her heels and pulls them back into the new universe. So, yeah, that's just it's great. It's probably a lot of people's favorite arc so far from Party. I'm not sure if that feeling still holds for you.
I don't know. I think it definitely, like, going back and like revisiting it, it definitely is up there because it just feels like such this like big culmination of all these like shadowy elements. But I really love the like the recently the Doctor Wu fight. I thought was really cool. I just really love Doctor Wu as a character.
Fight sucks. Hi, I'm back. There was that fight creeps me out. Fuck, I
Why?
don't like it.
Because it's just a Dusty
goes
getting into
inside
you
you.
and
Yeah,
then
it's
controlling
fucking
you.
gross. Oh,
It is really gross.
it's really weird. The fucking fetus shit. I don't know. It's a
Yeah,
little.
that is creepy.
It's a little just disgusting and weird and
You don't-
gross.
You don't want to open your mouth and see a little man and like speaking out of your mouth.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
Oh.
think so. Yeah, Doctor Wu's just kind of boring as like a character. He's like, I've never lost anything. Dies. Like it's kind of weird.
I'm about to end this man's entire career. Oh,
like
God.
I don't know. He felt very two-dimensional a little bit.
I liked Dr. Wu a lot. I think Dolomite was kind of that thing to me where I didn't like him that much.
Yeah. I was sympathetic to, not as much as I was with Aisha Dainajiyama, but with Dolomite was like a little. I felt something for him.
Eat the fried. At least he gave us the fried chicken scene. I'm just happy he gave us that at least.
Yeah.
But like
classic fried chicken scene.
it's just to add to the no context JoJo stuff. But
yeah.
it's just kind of funny just going back and just rereading all like the foreshadow stuff they kind of had, or just these little things they set up. Because I don't know, Dolomite was whatever. Then we get Rai. It's just like how weird because Rai's like an important character and we don't get to him until like chapter 65.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he presents as like an important character, but honestly, he's just kind of a useful guy.
He's there to like to identify the fruit. He's
Yeah,
the fruit expert.
he identifies the fruit, and then after that point, he's just kind of a helping hand. Like he's not really there to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's there to take terrible amount of damage to show what the stance does.
I like him well enough, but I feel like his reasoning for doing all of it is kind of it's a little
like
surface
weird,
level, I think.
Like an ozone baby where you just like reduced to like eyes and like a mouth.
Yeah, it's like at first he's like, fuck you, I'll do this because I want to see the plant. But then like after that point, it's like, why the fuck is he still here?
I'm like looking at like this the Kaito chapter, and like there's just like this big headed child, Haito. Like she's a big ass head. But like yeah, I've read this whole like chapter about like Kaito, and then they kind of teasing her, and like, but she hasn't come back in like any effect yet, other than just like chilling on the lawn at one chapter.
Yeah, I think that's the last time we saw her. I can't remember what chapter that is. But it was a while ago.
She's
just like
Other
sunbathing.
than like references like a name drop, that's a good.
Did we see Hato during the fucking flash forward?
We did
Yeah, we
not.
No.
Kaito, no. Haito, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Who are Hato? It's Hato.
Hato has the
Yeah.
heels. H for heels.
heel toe. It's got
Yeah.
heel
Who's
toe.
Kaito? Hold on.
Heel toe. Heel toe.
The mom is Kato, right?
Oh,
Kaito.
Kaito. Yeah. It's Kato.
Is it with a K? Is there anything with a K or this? Because like the first family tree had it with a C.
Well, let me like break something down for you. The K and the C are the same sound.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
The English language could get rid of one, but we choose not to for some reason.
essentially.
We just choose not to. We're going not.
Yeah, Kato, the mommy. She.
That's what you call her.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there's two situations. One, she comes back and has a big moment, or two, she's just completely forgotten and essentially just exists to give motivation to Jobin, or like to flesh out his backstory and motivation.
To antagonize the family.
And I just think the latter is more likely at this point. I don't know. I feel like the reason she was brought out was to establish Jobin's backstory and his motivation and everything, and after that point she's kind of pointless.
I'm like looking through this, like the flashback with Kid Joven, and just like Joven gets brutally like, beat up. It's so like terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's really interesting analysis of her character, because like I think a lot of people, just because she's got like so much mystery around her, were like, oh no, she must be like the main antagonist. Like, but yeah, it does make a lot more sense of her just being kind of like a utility character, I guess, if you
Yeah.
want to use that term.
Plus
she's
yeah.
serving a plot purpose.
Plus her mysteriousness kind of works on a meta level because, like, not even most of the Higashikata kids know who she is, like, because she went to prison before most of them were born, or, like, at the very least, like, before they were adult.
Yeah, only the 2 oldest kids know.
Yeah. So...
And she was pregnant at the time, I think, when the whole Joven Speed King's the one kid to death.
Yeah.
He burns his face. Oh, gross. And then mom and child bury a body in the woods.
Well, they bury in the shrine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Johnny Joestar's shrine where his corpse is.
I mean, Johnny needs a head to put on the corpse. There we go. But yeah, I feel like she has to come back, and like she's another one of those characters that you think has to come back.
I need to know what her stand does. Like we have
the playing cards.
I mean, it looks like it just stores objects in a playing card. Like that seems like it's all it does, really.
But like, think of how that could be. That like the idea of that could be implemented in that way. Could
kind
be
of like the
spatial
twins.
control.
It's kind of like a twins, but instead of like instantly doing it, you kind of delay it.
Yeah, I've also heard the theory that her stand is called Breaking Heart because the chapter it appears in is Walking Heart and Breaking Heart.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah,
it works contextually because it's her quote unquote boyfriend, but also it's like, hey, that could also just be the fucking stand name. Yeah,
there was that moment when like she was like trying to like meet all the new kids she had to meet, I guess, and like Joshu actually like protects like Daya by like trying to harass the mom.
Oh yeah, like a lot of people are like, oh, that's yeah, a lot of people call that like, oh, Joshu's being a weird mom fucker, but don't read it as him obviously trying to get her the fuck out of the house because he knows she's like nothing but bad news.
Yeah,
you see the look on his face.
Yeah, like he's clearly not a fucking idiot. Like he's doing that for a reason.
He's just a freak.
I mean, it could be both.
Love him.
He's using the fact that he's an off-putting, smelly asshole as like a utility for a weird hero moment.
Smelly asshole.
Probably has a smelly asshole.
Yeah, you just look at this guy and you're like, this guy stinks.
This guy definitely doesn't wash his ass because he doesn't believe in God.
Here's your question. What do you think his asshole smells like? Leave in the comments.
Jesus Christ.
Who's your favorite character and what does their ass smell like?
Okay, that's the official question of the week.
Jotaro would smell like Star Platinum.
Stone Freeze ass smells like soap.
Canonically true.
Yeah.
All of Part 5 stands smell like spaghetti.
True.
Got it.
I like the idea that there's just constantly the smell of food everywhere because it's Italy and that's all they do is food.
Yeah.
It's just pasta and wine.
They smell like whatever their namesake is.
That's true.
Fugo smells like
really
strawberries.
Good. Oh man.
Pesci is just fucking disgusting.
I just got somebody had the mental image of Bruno just like zipping up his ass.
Oh my god. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Welcome to Jokakaka.
Welcome to Butthole Kaka.
So happy to be on here.
Oh yeah, we're thrilled.
Discord. Okay. Sorry, I look at color, so I kind of like lost track of what chapters.
We were on. We left off on Dr. Wu after Dr. Wu.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the whole.
Me, Dr. Wu?
I mean, we kind of skipped the whole Urban Gorilla, cause like.
Yeah, that's for the best.
That's
actually where we started. We started doing Jokakaka around Urban
Araki saw
Gorilla.
Frozen and made a stand fight off of it. You seen Frozen? The horror
on.
Frozen?
Oh, I've heard of it.
You can't just say Frozen and
the one where they
think
get
that
stuck on a ski lift.
Yeah, I've heard of the horror movie. I heard it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You can't just say Frozen and not immediately assume that we're
the
thinking
real
about
Frozen.
the Disney one, though. Yeah, like
the the slightly better one.
God.
But, that was the only thing that one, other than the introduction to the Planet Praiser and like rock animals being a thing.
Yeah, Momozuku has like a sort of weird, cool, like turns his arm into a crossbow. That's kind of the highlight of the fight, and then the rest of it's just kind of weird and boring, and I don't know.
One thing I like in hindsight is how we see Urban Gorilla as like a doctor, and he just looks like a big dweeb.
Yeah, totally, right? Oh my god.
Looks like
I
a
love
monster.
that. Yeah.
And it's just like him cosplaying as like a Mad Max character, basically.
It's also cool that we have a Hawkwind reference now. It's pretty nice.
Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg.
I'd never heard of them before.
Yeah.
I laugh when I heard like a Snoop Dogg reference. For
Doggy style.
Also,
Doggy style.
doggy style,
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's a great one.
But then Ozone Baby, which is like probably one of my favorite things came out of everything.
Ah,
Yep.
poor Tom is so good.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah.
The little gremlin hobbit, just crawls out of women. Like,
I love that he explicitly fucks. Like,
God damn.
this dude
he's
is
a horny rock
a
human.
ladies' man.
You can't get humans pregnant, Jim. You got nothing to worry about.
Oh my god.
Going back to like all of the meta stuff we're talking about, this almost feels like a meta joke about how Rocky can't draw children. It's like if Ozone Baby's just like this horrifying old man that looks like a child.
Old man
Or
baby.
so, not poor Tom rather. Not
The
Ozone
old
Baby.
man equivalent to like Tsurugi-sized old man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But
I also love that Ozone Baby on its head or something, it says Ozone Baby. That's pretty cool, yeah.
I also love it. Just like a Lego White House, like
Yeah.
just Barry. I think it's hilarious. It's
I-
a weird like stand contact.
I think I just love
Yeah.
stands that have like a humanoid physical manifestation that literally doesn't fucking do anything.
It's
Like,
it's just there to visualize that it's activated.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
basically. It's
And a lot
funny.
of stands in this part are go by touch or like actually have to make physical contact, but he's the one like
Mhm.
you have to bury and like then it activates.
It's so fucking weird.
It's probably one of the most unique activations for a stand.
yeah,
Yeah.
since Born This Way at least, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it feels so threatening, and I love that the it sort of hovers over you, like taunting you almost.
yeah.
like,
It
you
looks
just
like
can't hurt it.
It looks like he's on like roller skates and has like a bag on his head.
Yeah, it's
I think
very
his face looks like Oogie Boogie, but like a paper bag head.
strange.
So
I see that.
But yeah, then you get like Speed King. Like this is like the real like Speed King like and Jobin chapter of like them just doing random shit like driving a car.
Yeah.
Speed King driving car is one of the greatest moments of Part 8.
Like doing the Benz cure. Like
Yeah,
all
I
that
totally
stuff.
forgot about that. It's weird that we like talked about this. I mean, we've been doing this show for like 2.5 years, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
And it's weird to think that like that scene happened, and I was like, I didn't even remember Jobin knows how to cure the bends.
Oh yeah, it's a rule in JoJo that you have to know how to do everything, like every animal, like every medical procedure, like you can do it.
Yeah, every character has a weird knowledge, a weird breadth of knowledge.
Because like I remember early on there was like Holly had, and like I think even Gappy had like bird knowledge.
Well, okay, so yeah, that's something that I remember catching that I didn't bring up because I forgot. Josuke early on can like he has like weird ultimate perception
Yeah, he's like
abilities where
very
he can tell.
visual.
Yeah, he can tell like how far something is away. He's like can tell how big the bird is just by looking at it for a second.
But he didn't know how to sleep on a bed
Yeah, he sleeps
It's
under.
weird because
Or-
he also
or
like
shave.
he also like tabulates fucking Yasuo's bra size, but then doesn't know what boobs
Yup.
are, which is the funniest thing of all time.
Yup.
But during Born This Way, he knows what horror movie and and tropes of horror movies are. Like he's like, oh, I get killed if I go to the second floor, like a horror movie.
But then he
Like,
doesn't.
such
he has
an
to
enigma.
discover what aging is. Like,
Do you remember him shaving?
I do.
Yeah, I love that scene.
It's like
It's a great
horrifying.
scene.
Idea like even I think it like Joshu is like terrified as
Yeah.
he's like just ramming this fucking
He's
razor.
ramming
against
the
his neck.
razor into his lip.
He's like, it's cutting his nose.
It is. Yeah, it's like
it's
fucking.
And he's like, "Oh,
Feels
so
great.
cartoonish.
very
It's like a
good."
Looney Tunes cartoon thing where like they would like be shaving. It goes like their face is stretching all the way up. It's so weird.
It is.
But yeah, like those chapters from like Ozone Baby and on are like very like Jobin. Like we got to build up Jobin. And I love that because Jobin gets like front page in later part of Part 8.
Yeah,
That
I
she
think.
was like-
I think it's pretty like a good rule of thumb or like an easy way to acknowledge like vitamin C is kind of like the midpoint, or at least like you can kind of divide everything from vitamin C before or like after.
Yeah.
He's
where
like
it's
the,
like this-
the mid game boss of like that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, or what did I call them? Fuck, I had the recap open. I gave them like a
The,
name.
The fruit.
Daoma Democon.
Yeah, the Democon and
The fruit trade.
and the research group.
What was the wiki edit?
Research group. Yeah.
What was the wiki edit?
Oh,
for
the poop shitters and the pee pissers.
Oh my god, it all ties in. It all ties in to the butthole conversation.
Yeah, someone edited the wiki like after the whole Jokakaka thing happened, and like the wiki was like mass edited to change every instance of Jokakaka. Like someone at one point snuck in like changing the Damokon and research group to the pee pissers and the poop shitters.
It all comes back together.
I love that so much.
And like other than between like the Joven chapter, we got like Mitsuba becoming a main character.
Yeah,
and
I fucking love Mitsuba. She's
I
great.
love her as well. I love her weird outfit. I
She's
love
so
her
good.
stand. Like everything.
Yeah.
I love it.
She's cool.
I love her whole character is great. Just her being the most like I'm stuck in the middle of
Yeah,
everything.
she has a weird rock nose, but she totally owns it. Like,
Oh, she's so good.
She
yeah.
had sex with her husband with a beetle on top of them.
I really
I
hope.
love how he loves her nose too. Joven loving her nose because it reminds
Yeah.
me of the Beatles.
I really
Oh,
hope that
peak JoJo.
when these chapters are colored and we get to like see the rock shit, I hope it doesn't have like a weird gross color. Like
it's gonna be gray. I'm it's gonna
yeah,
be like,
yeah. I hope they make it kind of blend with the character design so it doesn't stick out as this really weird like color choice.
it's supposed to stick out.
Yeah.
I think. That's
Well,
like the
it
point
is,
of
but like in terms of like a color theory joint, it'd be kind of weird if it's just like this weird desaturated beige, like it is with like the rock humans and everything. I don't know. I feel like that would
Yeah.
look kind of weird.
Well, she is Miss Cherry, so maybe it'll be bright red.
Red,
I can see it being like a sort of salmon or like clay color.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Mhm.
But yeah, like she probably had one of my favorite stands of probably in recent memory that like I just love the use of it so
Yeah.
much. Even we talked about it in our recent episode, just like the amount she can probably like control the force of it, or just like it's just so
Just like the limitation to it, also how she only has 3 is like
Yeah.
mwah, like Italian kissing noises.
Yeah,
like-
it's
and even then she has to say what she wants to get out because she can put it on someone, either push them back physically or just shoot out like the shards of like Dr.
Mhm.
Wu. Like she can use it to a T, like to be very particular on what it does and where it goes,
yeah.
which is interesting. It's just, but yeah, definitely. So she's so cool. She throws hot coffee in PTA women's faces, and I love it.
I forgot about that. Holy shit, that was awesome.
She's an angry mom.
Such a dick move. But we love her.
Everybody's a
we
dick in
stand
JoJo.
Mitsuba. It's
think-
true.
Everybody's an asshole, like civilians. Like it's a thing. And then basically the big thing was the head doctor stuff that we still don't know.
Yeah, well, that whole arc in general is just very weird. Like, there's a lot of things that happen that are just fucking strange. Like, Toru shows up.
There's so many mysteries going on in this series that has so many mysteries that we still don't
Yeah.
know.
Toru shows up kind of halfway through the Doctor Wu fight, and like he's just kind of a thing, and we assume it's like, oh, it's just
He's
kind of like a. He's just kind of a guy, and then he shows up and he has a JoJo design, and we're like, okay, he's a character now. He's like a guy. He's
Yeah,
like
he's so damn pretty and like so like his design, like there's no crack. He doesn't crack up like everybody else and had. Like Jobin has acted goofy and everything. We've seen him like even get nervous and everything. So
Mhm.
like he's like the one character like in this we haven't seen like act weird.
yeah.
His rant about the wireless charging is like the only thing that's like kind of strange, but he still like gave that in a very like calm demeanor. I think. Like,
yeah.
He's just like so sure of his weird.
He's
idea.
almost like too normal almost. Like he's just kind of. I mean, I guess he's not like a super out of the ordinary character, but it feels like there. I think that definitely there is at least one huge element to his character that we're missing that we don't know. Like,
Yeah.
because he has this whole design and like the design motif similar to the stand and everything. It's like there has to be something to this.
Like he went to high school with Yasho.
Yeah.
And like he has. It's like there's so many things we don't know much about their past other than that they dated and like that picture of them at the beach. Like,
yeah.
And his
I
weird
also-
outfit,
I-
his weird hair.
I've pointed this out before. I don't know how true it is. This is my fucking knowledge, but the one of the ties that binds sort of Akefu and Toru together is Satoru and Toru are both very, very common Japanese names. like absurdly common relative to JoJo names, where there are characters like fucking Josuke, which I've never heard that name outside of the context of JoJo. I'm pretty sure it's made up. Like, yeah, there's a lot of characters with just weird names. Jobin, for example, I don't think is a Japanese name at all. Like, and then suddenly we have two very important characters whose names are Toru and Akifu, or Toru and Satoru, which is kind of like, I don't know. Plus, Toru doesn't have a family name, or at least
it's just
we don't
easy
know.
names to get fake identities, just common names to grab.
It's like if you had like a fantasy series with like the characters named like Delrith and like Vargskarth, and then like Carl shows up. It's like something's up with Carl. Like there's got to be something up with that guy.
There's Bob and Joe.
Yeah, it's like Joe and like Steve.
I'm a huge fan of the Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones series, and there's just one character that's name is Kevin, and I think that's like the funniest shit ever.
Yeah.
So there's just so much I still don't know. And this part is so long. Like Dangerous Pursuit.
Yeah, I also didn't even realize until I was saying it, but there's Toru, Satoru. I don't know. Just one of those things.
It's just something I thought was kind of funny, guys, that I noticed.
People are putting the conspiracy stuff on the board, so they put that one on there as well. They're connected to something.
Mm-hmm.
Common names.
So then I guess that kind of brings us up to current day, current year, present time, present day.
Present day.
Well,
yeah.
So,
the new fruit and like the Jokakaka and the Holly chapter and.
So yeah, where do we think like things are gonna go? Like, so okay, let's talk about Holly. Like, do you think that there's a chance that Holly will like
be the main villain?
Come out? No. Do you think there's a chance that Holly will come out okay? Like, do you think there's any hope for Holly?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything turned out well for that kid Gyra one to save it.
So okay, I think that the way she's sort of painted here, it's like she's kind of the motivational point. But I feel like there's going to come a time when like we have the fruit and everything, and we have a choice. Do we give it to X character or Holly Joestar Kira? And it's like, I feel like the way she's built up here, it's almost kind of weird if she lives. Like, it's just kind of hard to imagine. Like, she has this big sort of character moment, and it almost feels like self-sacrificial or something. Like, and then she's just fine. That, I don't know, that kind of weirds me out.
Maybe, like, Gappy, like, tries to sacrifice himself to cure her, but instead, at last minute, she kind of, like, takes it back to sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
Or he stops him from doing that.
Yeah, something like that. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like,
there's a...
But then a lot of people think, but Steel Ball Run did it, where, like, you can't have the main motivation be, like, not let them have that satisfaction of them succeeding, but, like, it happened.
Yeah. Well, you could...
I am, like, totally okay with
part
the
6
child
kind of
dying
happened.
at the end of part 7. I don't know why people are, like, really hung up about the fact that the kid dies. I think it's, like... Sure. It's
probably
just
how
a
life
very,
is
like,
in 1900
yeah,
Europe.
It's a very naturalistic sort of ending where it's like, just because this was the goal doesn't mean that like, it will like happy ending happen.
The ending of part 1 is amazing with like that bittersweet like.
Oh, it's incredible.
And like even by part 6, another thing people at the ending where like it's not like
I love the ending.
It's not
of
like
part
people
6.
say like not the happiest ending, but there's some people who will say that just like they want.
It
they
is
want
such like a hopeful ending though.
They want them to reach their goal. And that's like. People don't like it when the goal just like not get reached in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's just a part 6 ending is so good. It's like all second chancey and like all these characters are finally given like the fair shake that they deserve.
Yeah,
and,
slight
and then
tangent
it goes to
with
the George Joestar universe,
Slight tangent with part 6, by the way. I don't know if you guys have heard this common theory. Fucking Emporio still has weather report, so the reason it rains at the end is because he's crying, and he still has weather report.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
Remember when people thought Emperor was in part 8?
Yeah.
Oh,
that one little kid.
The people who fucking dude. So any fucking Jokakaka listeners who aren't familiar with me, I fucking doing a series on part 9 stands or whatever, like speculative shit. And like,
Oh yeah, they're great.
half of comments I get are like, I thought Emporio was the main character of Part 9. Because of that one fucking joke video from like, oh my fucking god. The same video where it's like, fake subtitles of Araki saying he hates gay people. Like, people are so
that video
fucking... It's so dumb. People are so
That
gullible.
video's fooled so many people.
I cannot believe that fooled so many people.
It's sad. We live in a society, guys.
We live in a
and it
fucking
sucks.
society. Holy shit.
These small brains, man.
Ugh.
But yeah, so Holly, no chance for her. Okay, so one thing I wanted to say was, it reminds me a lot of a manga. I won't say it because it's a spoiler, but
Okay.
this is like, this scene feels like a character, like Holly's dead. It feels like this is like the scene that our protagonist has with like the ghost of their loved one or whatever.
Mhm.
That's like the final sort of send off that they give, like this final like last push for the protagonist. And like it really just feels like Holly like saves him near the end with the like pouring the low kakaka, and she also like kind of sets him on this path. So I feel like that was kind of her like last.
Right. I feel like there might even be like a monkey's paw thing with the new Rokakaka where it's like there's no way that he could save Holly with this. Like I feel like there's got to be some weird monkey's paw shit about it where it's not just like a total heal that just makes you awesome. Like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just like, I think like I even am guilty of this, just going in with the notion that the Rokakaka will work. The new Rokakaka will work.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I said this before,
we have no
like,
reason to believe this.
Yeah, but I said that before in one of our last couple episode or two, where I said like we just still don't know like any side effects from this new fruit. Like, you don't know what it actually does 100% because no one has taken a bite of it yet.
Yeah, and also like thinking about what happened with Kira and Josuke, like, oh wait, sorry, I think I'm cutting out.
There you go. I'm sorry, Discord's like cracking up on me, so if I talk over, like it's annoying. But and this thing just like, yeah, we don't know side effects. Like, no one taking a bite of it. There's only like, there's a couple fruit on there, but only one's like ripe, and we still don't know who's gonna take the first bite out of it.
Well, one is a little bit underripe, and then the other one is super underripe. I think, right?
Yeah.
And like, unless they're gonna pull some, I think like, oh, Holly Stand is gonna be like, you know, something like Giorno where he kind of gives life and kind of exceeds the growth or something. And because, you know, Holly in part 3 had the vine stand on her back.
Yeah. And we've already seen with Josefmi and Kira how an underripe Rokakaka has like significantly different effects. Like, I feel like that's going to come into play, the fact that there is an extremely underripe new fruit. I feel like that's gonna have some sort of significance.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm very excited to see how it fucks things up even more.
I can't perceive what thing gonna shit on our theories.
Because, like, basically all the people who actually want to, like, just sell the fruit are fucking dead, right? Like, essentially?
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's just been this slow, just, like, destruction of this supply chain.
Yeah. The doctors and the sellers are both like basically all dead except for the head doctor.
Yeah, Akafu is really the only remaining guy who wants anything to do with it.
And in like the one chapter where we have his like big reveal, his whole thing is like he's like releasing it public now.
Yeah,
like, he's making it a real thing, which is I think is like such an interesting move, and it feels like there's more to it.
But I feel like he's not being totally magnanimous with it, right? Like there's got to be some sort of catch.
Well, he works in the healthcare industry, so
yeah.
Oh, got him.
Fuck, I don't know what kind of healthcare Japan has. I don't.
Probably better than ours.
I don't think it's single payer there. I think it's still private there, right?
I know Korea is like a super hyper capitalist. Like they're not like, because like a lot of European ones are like really social.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so it's probably along those lines.
I don't know, with how many injuries from like stands or people probably testing out their stands, they're probably very good hospitals in Japan, in Jojo Japan.
In this iteration of Japan, maybe. Yeah.
And another big question, like the whole Tsurugi thing in the body bag, because a lot of people don't think it's actually him in the body bag.
Oh yeah, this is like a big.
Oh yeah, the idea that it's Yasuho.
Yeah, it's Yasuho. The whole thing with Tsurugi is weird because I don't know what that's leading to. Is a whole like split personality kind of thing he's going through.
Well,
I really want Tsurugi to be a good boy. I love Tsurugi.
The flash forward still takes place before the harvest, right?
It's like an hour or two.
Yeah.
No, it's like minutes.
I think it's like 13 minutes. I think
Oh yeah.
I think it's like just about 10 minutes, give or take. Like,
And right now I think we're like an hour out.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
And then like
It's a little vague.
yeah, so Yasuho is missing her right arm, and in the flash forward there's Norisuke with a missing right arm. Or it wasn't missing, but it was severed.
Yeah, with a little Paper Moon King jumping out.
Yeah. That has to be a thing. Like there's no way.
Because like we all know Paper Moon King can work on like living or non-living things.
Yeah.
Its secret technique was turning buses or into
Jobin.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've had this like weird. I don't want it to be true, but I feel like it might. Where like Paper Moon King evolves in such a way that like
King Crimson.
This is vague, but like the Higashikata the surviving members of the Higashikata family kind of live in like a weird purgatory state where they never figure out what actually happened.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, right.
That
Like,
would make me so sad.
you know what I mean? Like, because they're all like
Yeah.
they're all like uncharacteristically jubilant. Like,
Yeah. With each other especially.
yeah, but because they obviously didn't use the new Jokakaka, something fucking happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
someone fucking died. There's no way they're this happy.
Yeah, someone has to die. It's been too long in JoJo.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the bites the dust thing where
Shingeki.
oh my god, what's the kid's
Shingeki.
name? The other one. Kira's son.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Hayato?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where Hayato is like constantly reliving the cycle, and only he, like everyone is like living that like just normal morning, but he's like
Even
got
Kira
this,
doesn't know.
horror. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he has the horror of like having to experience it over and over again. So maybe that's kind
I
of
feel
like a
like
little connection.
maybe an inverse of that where it's like they're totally happy but they're oblivious to the fact that something horrific has happened.
So you
Yeah.
think we're getting an evolving stand by the end of part 8?
I think so. I think.
And it's gonna be like, I mean, people still had that theory that like Gappy was gonna like end up dual wielding Killer Queen and Soft and Wet. That was like a theory. I think like early on when I started reading, like people were like, "Oh man, I can't wait for him to dual wield 2 stands." But like after that,
I know that it's a hard rule that like one person can have one stand and that's it.
But imagine that image.
Yeah, that would be cool as hell, but I strongly doubt it.
I know. I doubt it
It would
too.
be cool to see Killer Queen, but like Soft and Wet's abilities are basically like Killer Queen.
We've seen Killer
anyway.
Queen already in the flashbacks.
Yeah,
So.
the only thing that it doesn't
Yeah.
have is bites, or not bites, sheer heart attack, and
Oh,
it's
man,
very
I
different.
forgot. Kira actually has like sheer heart attack.
Yeah,
like,
but
in
they're
the
like
flashback.
millions. They're like tiny
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
sheer heart attacks. It's like surgical sheer heart attacks.
So
Very
cool.
Mm-hmm.
A way cooler Killer Queen. And
I
then
think that's
any other
most of
other big things like mystery wise? I don't think we're missing other than just like
Well,
Where are the other
Josuke's
characters?
plan is the big one, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
what
I still
the
think
fuck is he-
Dolomite is still my
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes sense to me.
I think that's what I think.
Because like I can be made to pursue him. I think that
Yeah.
that has to be like it.
Or he makes the doctor get hit and pursue to back
That
to him.
makes
I don't-
less sense to me though.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. Anything can happen.
Yeah. I've also like
All the pursuers come
Oh,
together.
I was just gonna say I also noticed that like kind of unrelated, but Satoru Akifu has like a sort of his eyes are not detailed. He's
Mhm.
always drawn very light. Like he's drawn as if he doesn't fucking exist. Like his eyes don't
Yeah.
have any detail. He looks like a dead guy walking around. Like
He's shown to be like able to get to the hospital and to the Hishikata estate.
yeah,
Like
there's just something about him that like doesn't look right or like doesn't look and like remotely alive or like a person. I don't know.
yeah, we got that thing where it's like, it's put to go off when you pursue him, but even Mitsuba just like looking at him.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's. I think Mitsuba speculates that it's not only from like thinking about pursuing him, but also from directly seeing his back. If you do that as
Yeah.
well,
His back,
yeah. If you see his back, which means that you must be pursuing him,
so
then
that probably happened to the kid at Tsurugi's school that got like crushed in the gate.
The one time that we
'Cause
didn't,
The
like,
kid was
we
at the
could s-
school. I mean, he was
yeah,
at the
we
school.
see
so.
him later. One thing that like doesn't fit with that is with when they're in the Lamborghini in the tree, and
How they
like
think
it
about
seems like
it.
the moment that like he opens a door and is thinking about pursuing is when, well,
Well,
we see like the
that's when
mystery stand.
yeah,
we
that's
don't
when
know if the mystery stand is the Doctor stand still.
That's,
Like,
that's when the manifestation appears. Like,
Yeah.
when they're
the
or
one
not
that has like
looking
the
at him.
blades, the blade
Mhm.
arms.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah.
They don't.
Well,
actually,
I think it's both. If you think about pursuing him after you've seen him, or if you're looking at his
Yeah.
back actively, either of those
My
are
idea-
triggers. Yeah.
My idea was like
give me your big brain idea.
if he like is really close to you, he can just kind of attack you, like, because it seemed like the part where Mitsuba gets attacked by her like cook water when she's cooking, and she gets attacked by the pot, and the pot sprays hot water on her. Like that time, it felt like things are happening in a way that are so aggressive. Like she's not like actively moving towards anything. It's like reality around her is trying to destroy her.
Yeah, which is again why I feel like he might just be more of like a manifestation of something than like an actual guy.
Yeah,
like,
that makes so much more
'Cause
sense to me.
It's literally like reverse Love Train.
Yes, yeah.
It's like, yeah, and like that mixed with everything about him, like, I don't know. And like fucking Holly saying that weird shit about how his true form is inconceivable or something, like.
Yeah, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, or he's like imperceptible or whatever, like you can't see his true face. Like what the fuck does that mean? Like, I feel like, yeah, he like, God.
I just want to know why Toru has a picture and how he got a picture of him, man. I'm just...
Yeah.
That's a big thing, because somehow, out of anyone in the so far, he's the only one that's able to get a picture and like with him, and there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited to learn
I have
more
to
about
wait till-
Toru.
What, like March 19th-ish?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Ugh,
Sad.
so long.
At least February is the shortest month, so I don't know.
Is it a leap year this year?
It's
29 days
It's
this
29
month.
days.
Damn it.
Yeah.
It is a leap year this
Damn
year.
it. Fuck.
Isn't
One
February
extra day.
always short, regardless of whether or not it's a leap year?
Yeah, but we have one extra day we have to wait, though.
Oh, yeah.
The worst part. But I think that's like the bulk of it, right? We've been talking about this for like 2.25.
Yeah, I think
hours.
it's a good time to start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think so.
I think we kind of hit everything major. I'm sure there's gonna be some comment that's like, why didn't you talk about? And then it's gonna say something that's like, oh, yeah.
Why didn't you
that
guys talk
humongous
about
thing.
in depth the Blue Hawaii fight?
Because I hate it.
Why didn't you talk
Or
about the
Urban
time
Gorilla.
Soft and Wit hit that woman with a shovel?
He did. He did.
Or he like
did do
shoved it
that.
down her throat. I don't know.
I don't know. Civilians deserve it probably because we're all horrible monsters. But like, I don't know.
God.
There's a lot to talk about. I honestly want to talk more about the early stuff that we haven't covered in a long time because it's a lot of stuff I really liked and like discussing.
And there was a
that.
lot that is like still very relevant to
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
bring up, which is super cool. And everyone who's like,
Mhm.
oh, Rocky forgot, just like literally died.
I think the most difficult part about like speculating about JoJolion is like the timeline of events is kind of hard to keep track of sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
Just what Jim has
when-
timeline for.
when exactly did the wall eyes like emerge? Like relative to what? Like, was it before this? Was it after this? Like,
the I don't know. The big thing they always been pushing was that earthquake.
yeah, is that what
going
caused
through.
the wall eyes?
I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
It
I think
was?
yeah, maybe. You think it's called
It
the
was.
Walls? Yeah.
Yeah, the first chapter is like very explicit about the timeline. Like, pretty much from my understanding, most of Part 8 has taken place in like 1 month. The first chapter goes into detail about how like 2 years ago the
Mhm.
earthquake happened, and it was earthquakes and tsunami, and the whole thing was like that the walleyes came up and people were speculating, well, people in the town, the legend was that the walleyes were protecting parts of the town from the tsunamis and other natural disasters. So there's kind of this weird like supernatural element to the land itself.
Yeah.
A small part of land, kind of like the Part 7, just gave stand because the Ojiro had to get his stand from somewhere, and he probably like
Yeah.
he had to be over there.
Well, it's
'cause that was
like
before the
it's also
Wall's Eyes
because like
earthquake.
yeah, the initial set of events isn't super hard to keep track of, but then like it'll reveal new things like in the flashbacks or flash forwards where it's like it's almost like Rogue One where like it shows fucking it shows R2D2 and C3PO or whatever. And it's like like, you know that the second that it cuts away from them, the only way for the series of events to make sense is if they sprint in the other direction and fly straight towards fucking Tatooine. Like,
yeah. That's such a good comparison.
Yeah,
That's so true.
so like there's certain things in this where it's like the only way this makes sense is if like fucking, I don't know, like what the fuck was Jobin up to when all of this, like, the earthquakes happened or whatever. I don't know, it's weird.
He was in the like going around islands or whatever, checking out fruit. Okay. What are they called? The Star Wars thing remind me is just like beginning of Star Wars. It's just like Darth Vader just got done doing like crazy lightsaber tricks before he like casually walked into the ship.
All right, time to go to this other part of the ship now. It's like, fuck him.
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, because like we know that stands existed like way before. Yeah. Like, I mean, Kira had Killer Queen like before the Walleyes come up. And like just Fume had soft, or because I don't know if it's been officially named Soft and Wet, but he had the Soft and Wet that we know.
I think it was called Soft and Wet.
Yeah, so he had that like before, and like Carrera we would assume like had before. So the only person that would like that we would know that would have unlocked a stand would be Yasuho. And the bite marks there are like suspect. So it's like, okay, maybe this caused it.
Or maybe maybe just a way to unlock.
And then I think also Joshu developed it, but all the other Higashikata kids already had one.
Oh yeah, Daya had it since she was a kid, since she fell, and I don't even. That's like the main one they really mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much that's just kind of like up in the air.
Because it used to be just like, if someone had it in the family, it would go down, inherit it, for the most part. Mm-hmm. And JoJolion needed a little like motivation, like a little boost, but that's like the only weird case, I think.
In my stupid mind,
Koichi forcibly being healed to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my stupid mind, the whole thing with JoJolion not having it like innately is kind of like in Dragon Ball Z, how like further down like the Saiyan bloodline goes. So like first you've got like Goku, pure Saiyan, Gohan, half Saiyan, Gotenks. So like the further it goes down, like it's like less Saiyan.
Well, I think that I don't think that stands are actually hereditary. I don't think you can just get it from having a kid and the kid has a stand, because like every child of a stand user in like part 3 and like part 4 was alive at the time that Dio got pierced by the arrow. But like obviously JoJolion wasn't born yet, so that's why she wasn't born with one. So I don't think it's strictly hereditary, but if some sort of hereditary style event happens, like a supernatural event happens, then everyone presently born will have a stand. But I don't think you can like be born and like have a stand. I don't think that's ever been established.
What about the invisible baby from part 4?
That baby was fucking shot. I don't know.
With an arrow.
Someone shot that fucking baby, and it was worthy of a stand. That kid
had a fighting spirit.
That kid had a fighting spirit.
I mean, also the evil baby from part 3. That was also super intelligent.
Oh yeah, Dio would have had to have shot it like right in the fucking face.
Right in the face.
He was at that stand user meeting they had that one time.
Explains why the thing's so fucking ugly. Holy shit.
The Manish Boy is called on the wiki.
Manish Boy.
I forgot it's called fucking Manish Boy. What a weirdo.
Oh, that's so fucking good.
Yeah, there's been babies. I mean, is Green Baby technically a baby?
Yeah.
Wasn't there
got baby in the name.
Isn't there a character a stand called Octung Baby as well?
That's the invisible one.
Is that it? Oh, that's the Shizuka Joestar's stand, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's just like a name that they gave afterwards because it's not. It's one of those names that's like
I think a lot of the part 4 ones are given like after the fact, like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Octung Baby.
Earth, Wind, and Fire famously used twice.
You just make a list of just like things that have a fighting spirit more than Holly did.
Yeah.
Literal
rats
and birds and dogs and cats.
I think.
Yeah, Savage Garden is just like an eagle that
it's funny
has a stand.
Wasn't Going Underground also used previously, not as a stand but as like a chapter name? Because in in part 8, Born This Way was originally Going Underground, and then he changed it.
It was one of Dio's I think it was one of the chapters for Dio Sons, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I think isn't his
Yeah,
his
that's
name's just called Underground. I
Yeah,
think.
that's the one in the subway.
It's
with, like,
Underworld,
the plane
yeah.
and everything.
It's Underworld, but I think one of the chapters might have been called Going Underground or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Unless I talk about part 6 of it. So, anything else?
No, I think that's a
yeah,
pretty good.
I think that is it.
Go another hour.
I love Jojo. I love
I
JoJolion.
love.
It's very good.
I'm a fake JoJo fan.
I only read the light novels.
Yeah, fun.
Yes. All right.
So, Sam, would you like to give? Wait, actually, first we'll let Holly plug.
Let's do her plugs first. Ladies
Hello.
first.
Plug your shit.
Yeah, I'm Purmello, and I do I do. This is why I fucking don't talk in my videos. But I have a YouTube channel and a Twitter. The YouTube channel's better. Go subscribe. It's youtube.com/Purmello and then twitter.com/Purmello. PURMELLO. That's it.
I'm sure
You have those.
I'm sure Jim
you
will
have
probably
those
put a link in there.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'll put the links.
Yeah.
You have the awesome, funny video from Part 8, the Eat Shit Johnny. Very, very good. Well, yeah, tell him Eat Shit Johnny, love it.
Love it.
Just can't recommend your animations enough. They're super cool.
Yes.
I have you guys at gunpoint.
I feel like Discord has me at gunpoint right now.
I don't know. I've been fine on my end.
Yeah, it's been a little choppy. Normally, I'm the one that has like Discord errors, but okay.
I'm a Wi-Fi warrior.
Same dude. Do you want to give the sign off, Sam?
I'll try.
Do a little closing remarks.
Sure. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want to leave a comment about one of the many questions we left, including buttholes, please feel free. Please give us a follow on Twitter, either podcast or me, Jim, or Holly separately. And
yeah, all the links will be included as they always are.
Better be.
Is this going to be YouTube only, or is this on other stuff as well, Jim?
I think we're gonna put this on Spotify as well.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Because this is like a special. This is like a special episode.
Yes, yeah. So Jim's gonna be on Spotify as well. So wherever you like your podcasts. So
It'll be a fun little hiatus month surprise.
Yes. Anything else I'm missing?
No, I think that's everything.
Got most of the plugs in.
Yep.
Just want to thank everyone for listening this far in this
Yes.
super long podcast,
Please
and also thank our guest Holly as well.
Yes.
Very fun doing this.
Yeah, it was fun.
Fun discussing
love
Part 8
to-
and buttholes. Very fun.
Would love to do something like this again when Part 8 is over.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah, I'll
we
talk
can
to
see
you
how
guys again in
stupid our
like
shit was.
half a decade. Yeah.
It will be over before Yandere Dev Simulator game is done. Just saying.
All right, and with that, I think we'll say a goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.